So
have two of them.
tonight is 188 though, right?
Correct.
Yeah, live.
All right. Yeah. All right. Cool. So we're going live with 188.
Ooh, last
Set it
episode
up.
then was the murder episode at 187, at least in California. Penal code
Oh
section.
yeah. What's in that
I was
movie?
like, I'm lost.
Is that Samuel?
I don't
That
remember.
was like a one. Remember, there was a movie called 187. I thought.
All
No,
right.
it was Lawrence Fishburne.
That was like
There
147.
we go.
Yeah. And we're live.
All right, we're live.
Yeah, it was like a
Yeah.
murder thing.
And
Sorry.
Jim, if had you had a soundboard, we'd be listening to Boot to the Head.
Boot to the head.
Yeah.
Boot to-
We have zero sound effects tonight, people.
On the contrary.
Yeah, you.
Welcome everybody to the Arcade Hangout, America's favorite season 47 or 37 or 87.
Nice.
I forget what
That was
season
not supposed to happen.
Tuck them juices.
Episode 180. What did we say? 187.
See, I'm actually quicker with the
I know,
soundboard because I can just think it.
This
I
is,
don't have
this
to
is
like
already
look
feeling
for
way
it.
too green curry.
That's only gonna get worse, folks.
Yep.
Continue.
Yeah, sorry.
America's longest running live arcade podcast. We've been on the air for almost 5 years, and we have, drum roll please,
6 subscribers.
we have doubled our viewers.
It's like fucking Christmas vacation. Blah, blah, blah,
100 to
blah.
200 viewers.
We're on a roll, folks.
So we're on a roll. Yeah, at this
No, we're
rate,
not. It's our special guest.
You can't.
we almost have enough to save up for like a hamburger at McDonald's.
Yeah, we gotta monetize this shit soon.
You know, like
We're gonna be
some
rolling in the bucks.
of,
Oh, yeah.
some
At least get like an apple pie or something.
Should be doing this on Twitch so we can do like tokens and stuff to people.
We'll get a McDonald's apple pie that we'll have to split 10 ways.
Yeah, someone get a knife.
You know, at least have time to cool down.
Right, I was going to say.
It won't be lava
Yeah,
hot.
yeah. Who wants a greasy end versus who wants something that will like burn your taste buds off?
It's like a hot pocket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hot pockets are like that, where you take a bite of it and then you like
Lava.
burn off your tongue.
The
Yeah.
edges are lava hot and then you get the frozen
Lava
center.
hot.
Yeah,
Or
but there's
squirts all over. Like,
that's what I
Love those little pies. They were in that rack.
Yeah.
The cherry and the apple.
The two
Yeah.
Yeah,
packer.
exactly.
Yeah.
I never had the cherry. That
Oh,
sounds
I
nasty.
usually do the apple. Yeah.
That just sounds nasty.
do they even sell those anymore?
No.
I don't go to McDonald's for
There's
They did
probably a
like
lawsuit.
Yeah, they had to burn some kid.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
hot in the middle, man.
Little Timmy lost
I
his
know.
tongue.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if they burned some old lady with coffee, they definitely burned some little kid with those pies.
Yeah, those pies
Yeah.
were hot.
That's my pie.
Yeah. So did
And how
they
about the cookies? Remember the cookies? I love to get
yeah.
grimace.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Cookies.
They're like little animal crackers.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Oh, that's right. Forgot about those. They came in a little box, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, what's in the box?
Oh, God.
What's in
It
the
it doesn't carry the same weight, does
No,
it?
it doesn't.
Oh.
Anyway, we're a group of friends that like to get together once a week and talk about
I gotta be looking out to the side at the soundboard.
arcade games, and
We're a group of friends who like to talk over each other once a
we
week.
talk over each other and we drink over each other and
That's probably the most accurate description we've ever come up with.
Burp over each
talk
other.
about our gets, our Craigslist gets or not gets, or assholes on Clov or anywhere else.
Or maybe this week with our new guest, a new
Yeah, we have a guest tonight, Slick
Yeah.
Nick. He's going to talk to us, give us a little announcement. And talk
I
about
actually was right before we started. I just made the longest Tapatalk post on my phone ever. I responded to the YouTube thread on Clav, where I think you posted your first video, and people are and there's like an exchange of everyone talking about like looking for tips and advice.
Yeah,
And
they're all giving advice, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
so I felt the urge. I'm like, I'm not okay. I'm gonna respond, even though my channel fucking is little, it's tiny. But I'm like, oh no, this is getting longer than I thought, and I'm like trying to go on my smartphone. Finally, you're talking to me. You're in the kitchen, and I'm like, I'm like,
Mhm.
send or reply. And I'm like, holy shit, that went through. And the problem with Tapatalk is it doesn't autocorrect the word, or it doesn't spell check very well, that at least on my phone. And so like I have to correct all that stuff. But it was almost I didn't even know what TLDR meant until like a week ago. But it was definitely a TLDR post as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I had to look that one up too.
But the whole reason why I brought this up is like Nick's got a YouTube channel now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I got a
so-
YouTube channel too.
So Nick
All
is
right.
yeah. And Nick's been on the show, of course.
So does
before.
Andrew.
We saw an amazing tour of Nick's place on the show before, but Nick's
Yeah,
got
but
some
Nick's is
exciting
brand new, Mock.
Oh, okay. Nick, why don't you tell us about your channel and anything else you want to tell us about?
Nice
Sure.
enthusiast.
I've recently just started a new Instagram for Slick Nick. It's actually today's the 30-day anniversary, so it's been 1 month. Already got 1,000 followers, so you know things
Holy
are going
shit.
well.
I guess I need to get on Instagram. Or no, I don't.
Started a YouTube channel, posted my first video, and that's being received well so far. And just excited. It's kind of a new hobby for me to get into as far as posting things and doing things. Of course, the arcade hobby, you know, been around for quite a while. I can give you
When
guys
did you
some
get
background.
into it?
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. So
Sorry.
I was actually, I'm not from here. I'm from England. I was born in England. I'm actually part of Griffin's camp. I'm
I can tell by your accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually moved here when I was 2. Moved to North Carolina and eventually found my way to California by the time I was 4, 5-ish. And my dad bought a 7-Eleven store, a convenience store. And it was right smack in the middle of like just south of Beverly Hills. And this is the early 80s, like 82. And first time I walk into my dad's store, I walk in the door, I look to the right, and there's 4 arcade games there. And that's the first time I ever saw an arcade machine. And it was Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, and there was 2 others. I can't remember what they were. But I was just immediately drawn to these things. And you know, still to this day, like when kids come over to my house, I watch them. I see, you know, what games are they attracted to? You know, what attract sounds, you know, can lure them in? What artwork are they drawn towards? Because that was me. I was being drawn in to this Nintendo cab, this Donkey Kong that was right there. And it was interesting because there was just lines of people waiting to play these games. And a bunch of teenagers. It was an area, this was predominantly Black folks, but you know, just lines of folks wanting to play these games after school, a lot of high schoolers. And one day the operator came in and he knew I was the owner's son. So he offered me some free credits. He opened up the machine, popped like 5 or 7 credits in there. And I was,
and that's a magic time.
That's a mind-blowing experience.
Yeah, that's a crazy thing to happen as a kid.
yeah. So I'm looking at this game like, wow, I can play this game 5 times now.
Or
Nick, how old are you?
The next problem was 6.
Nick, how old are you?
He's
How-
6.
How old?
He's 6.
No,
Oh,
I mean
now,
now.
now,
Dude, for a 6-year-old, you got a hell of a
42.
beard, dude.
You're 42. Okay, I was just trying to okay, go ahead.
no, at that point I was 6. Now I'm 42.
Okay.
You know, I'm sitting here looking at this game, and now I can't reach over to look into the monitor because I was too short for the game. So my dad walks up with a milk crate. I don't know if you guys are familiar.
Oh yeah.
Gallons
I
of
used to
milk
work
crate.
I used to work at a 7-Eleven. now.
Okay. So
There's
flip
one on
that
the
bad
shelf,
boy
like, right
over,
there.
and I got on top of it, and I played my first game of Donkey Kong ever. You know, it's crazy. I was really drawn to these things, and you know, this is a crazy time in LA. A lot of good things happening, and the Olympics were about to happen in '84. I wasn't here for that. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But you know, because of our proximity to Beverly Hills and all that, we'd have celebrities come in. And I'll never forget, there was one time I was in the store, it was after school, and the door opens and you hear that little ding dong for the convenience store that you always hear when somebody walks in. And it's Mr. T.
Holy
No.
shit.
Whoa.
He's wearing all his gold, all his jewelry, he walks in,
Nice.
and my dad goes up to greet him and told him pretty much anything he wanted was free. And my dad, yeah, my dad,
Pay the fool that pays money to play this game.
and
You just wanted to play Donkey Kong.
yeah, no, he introduced him to me, and I walked around the store with him, and he was talking to me just like he does on TV. Hey, little brother, hey, how you doing, man? Give me 5, and you know the whole bit. And I was
Awesome.
dying. He had all his jewelry on. I was dying. And this is one of the stories. But you know, that winter there was a promotion at 7-Eleven. I'm trying to find the cup here. There was these Slurpee cups And they were giving away Atari 2600s, small televisions, and things of that nature. And I remember, I think we had some overflow or something, and my parents brought it home for Christmas. And Christmas Day, I opened it up, and I had a small TV, and I had an Atari 2600 with Pitfall.
Yes.
Nice.
Most amazing thing ever. Now, here comes the bad part. So late 83, my parents got into a divorce.
Oh.
And my grandparents, my dad's parents, they lived in India. So they came to the US to figure out what was going on, maybe help us figure out the situation. Things weren't working out. So we up and moved to India. My dad, me, and went with our grandparents. So I left in December of 83, and I missed the whole 80s.
Oh,
no.
Oh,
Wow.
Welcome back.
Oh no!
You got to see the starting of it.
I know you came back to the 90s. Or-
So I've spent the rest of my life compensating, as you can see. But
Nice.
You're like Michael
I missed
Jackson.
the whole 80s.
Like a time capsule, and now you're getting your childhood back.
So wait,
Yeah,
but
but
when
look,
did you come back?
Harrison.
So, all right, so I went to a place where there was no TVs. Every 10th household had a telephone, right? Great place, great experience. I mean, I got to learn so many things. I got to know my grandparents before they passed on, but there was nothing. There was, I think the only pop singer that made it that far was Michael Jackson. So I knew all his music there,
Right.
but we didn't know about anyone else. So I missed all the 80s music, all the 80s movies. So it's 1988. My dad gets remarried. We moved to Australia. So I go to Australia.
Yeah, that explains the accent.
Oh, 88.
So it's their bicentennial year, 200 years of, separating from England. And basically, if you guys don't know the story, the British just shipped off all their convicts to Australia.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they did. And it's a country of convicts.
Yeah.
So it was fun. I remember there.
And they're not sensitive about calling them convicts either. Not even a little.
Yeah.
They love it.
They're called Connies. That's the slang.
Actually, the Australians, I gotta say, obviously Jerry's been on the show. Dude, they're some of the most down home, fucking amazing folk I've ever met in my life.
Yes.
That's one of my
course.
favorite countries of all time.
And I had a blast being in Australia. And the one game that sticks out in my mind is I walked down to the local liquor store, and they had a Ghouls and Ghosts. And man, let me tell you, anytime I got a quarter, I'd put it in this thing, and I'd get my ass kicked within 20 seconds.
It's a brutal game.
Yeah. So not a whole lot of fun, but I was still drawn to that game. And another year and a half or so, I moved back to the States. So 89, I was back here. I was in 6th grade. And since from then, I started playing catch up. Grew up with not a lot of money. We were kind of poor. I lived in Koreatown here in LA. I used to walk to school. And on the way to school, I'd collect all the empty beer bottles and all, and go recycle them, collect some change, go to the donut store that was right next to my junior high school. And I walk in, and there's a game in there that I love to this day. It was Toki.
Yeah.
So that's how I know Toki. So I used to go in there and spend my hard-earned quarters on Toki and play that game.
Another hard fucking game that you have to basically memorize.
Yes.
And you have the side art frame, don't you?
I do.
It's such great art, isn't it?
It is.
It's so good.
It's amazing, absolutely amazing.
And someone on here did some art for that, I believe. I don't know.
That's what I hear. Yeah.
Yeah. The rumor has it. No.
I have the Nick. If you ever lose your poster, we can reprint you a new one.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I took both sides of the side art, put them one on top of the other, and just framed them in there. So they're entombed. They're in a tomb.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's so good. Yeah,
the artwork's amazing. Yeah,
the
so I did
the
a visual redraw, so it won't lose any resolution. It won't look like a scanned print or anything. It's gonna look the way it should. So yeah, that's awesome artwork.
Yeah, Steve did a freaking amazing job. Every time I walk past that cabinet, I'm so happy with how that bezel and the redone marquee, everything about it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nick, if you ever get an old Joust or Robotron that is gutted, It's the artwork's made for that package.
That's the way to go, and that's the way I remember them exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So you're with me because like that's how I remember seeing them in the arcades all the time. They're always in a converted Williams cab.
Yes.
Williams
Where
cab.
the monitor's right in your face, and it's got the flat control panel. That's like I never remember seeing it in anything else. They're almost always that way. And as a kid, I didn't know what that meant. I thought that's just how they were. But then, you know, you get into this hobby and it's like, no, it wasn't in that cabinet. It wasn't in that cabinet. I remember it being, and then boom, it's like, oh, it's a Williams cabinet. But then you know how bad cloth can be. It's like, now I need to find a Williams cabinet, but I can't feel guilty about converting something.
Yeah.
They'll give you shit about it too.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I got lucky in that department, sort of. I still got shit for it.
As long as you get the before picture that shows it just totally gutted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's black laminate on the sides. There's nothing original. The only thing that it says, other than the cabinet profile, that this was a Robotron is the control panel had the routed out spots for, you know, what do they call those, where the plates are underneath.
Yeah, the joystick sticks, the twin sticks.
Yeah. But otherwise, that was the only other indicator. Even the power supply wasn't original. It was the switcher was thrown in there. It was silkworm. I mean, so
fast forward, you know, I 90s, I started playing Street Fighter a little bit. Not very good at the game. I played some Arkanoid. Every cab.
Yeah. Oh man, you're just hitting all the bells for me right now.
I know. We have more in common than you may think. So
can't wait for drinkers.
So I enjoyed those games, but you know, games had kind of taken a backseat. I started focusing on getting through school. I mean, I went to college for business. I worked 3 jobs. I finally I had a girlfriend who I ended up marrying. And then I bought my first house.
Yeah, she's pretty cool, I hear. Right? Yeah.
Not bad.
She doesn't suck.
Yeah.
Have her come by tonight and say hi for a second.
Yeah, right. She might be.
She might swing by. She's putting the kids to bed. But when I bought my first home is when I realized, hey, I can have these things in my house, just like you guys.
That's like a
sounds like Carrie.
Yeah.
So the first game I went after was a Donkey Kong. I enjoyed restoring it. It was in bad shape. I bought it. I paid too much for everyone else. Yeah, I do restore.
Like for your first game, that's impressive that you would you would go after a restoration. Because a lot of people I know are intimidated. Even I know I was. So. Yeah,
I went to Arcade Shop. I found them. I ended up buying some of the repro art, just doing some of the minor stuff. I still tend to stay away from monitors and all that. This scared the shit out of me. But
hey, Gak, you hear that?
Yeah, you got Gak.
Hey, Gak, how you doing?
Yeah, fist bump out there from North Carolina.
So it started like that. I had 3 or 4 machines. At any given time, I would range from 4 to 7 machines. I switched houses twice. I mean, a year and a half after I bought my first house, moved to the second one, had more space. Then I moved into my current one another year or 2 later. And here I have a dedicated room, but still I only had 5. And I was happy with 5. I'd turn them on once a month. It was more of a cool factor. I kind of lost interest. So fast forward, I'm reading a magazine. I think it was Game Informer. And I'm going through it.
I'm very familiar with it. I used to sell. So I worked at, sorry to digress here, but Game Informer just brings back all kinds of memories because I worked at, it was Funkoland for many years. I worked there throughout college, and then it got bought out by Barnes & Noble, became GameStop, and Game Informer was their partner magazine. And so we were forced, it was one of those typical retail jobs where, you got to push this subscription to Game Informer. So it was very common. Like people would come in, they'd buy a game, and it's like, hey, if you want to save 10%, sign up for the Game Informer magazine. So anytime I hear Game Informer, it just I'm just transported back to being like 19, 20 years old and pushing that magazine subscription. It's a good magazine though. It's a very good magazine. It's just the fact that
people just didn't want it.
Well,
They wanted their
no
discount.
one wants to be like pushed to.
No.
to
They just laid off all their employees.
They
did.
Exactly.
And I met all those guys. I met them all at E3 a couple of times.
They
Andy
replaced them
McNamara and all those guys. I've met them.
They replaced them all with some paid and most not paid interns.
Oh fuck!
Just to squeak the the magazine out. But
so I'm looking at this article, and it's got a picture of a paperboy machine, and it's got Griffin on there.
I
didn't know Griffin. So I went online and I sought him out, and I just wanted to ask him more about his paperboy machine. I'd actually never seen paperboy.
Believe it or not, to be a Hubert.
Yeah.
Yes.
I haven't seen a lot of machines because, like you guys remember, I missed the 80s. So I'm still discovering machines I'd never seen. So I saw this thing and I had to reach out to him. I found him on the BYOAC.
Yeah, Boyac. Yeah.
And then I found Clav, and he was really cool. You know, he sent me his artwork. I found a paperboy machine for $400.
Wow.
Nice.
I know. And actually, I walked away from it because it was in poor shape. And then I went back when I couldn't find another one, and I just bought it off the guy.
So like you've got the lucky story, because so many of us have those stories where it's like we didn't know it was such a deal at the time. We passed it up, and then it never happened again.
Yeah.
But you actually were able to actually claim it. Like that's an omen.
Lucky touch.
Yes.
Lucky touch.
Yep. So then I set off on restoring a paperboy machine, got a little help, did some of it myself. But the one thing is, seeing Griffin's article, getting to know him, finding Clav inspired me to kind of take off on this journey. And now I think I own 50 plus.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
Oh my gosh.
So that was when he was making the custom art for like the side art with like the paper, and he was just
The plaques.
like right.
I didn't do the plaques. I did chrome the handlebars, but I didn't do the plaques. And I didn't do the diamond plate.
You didn't do the diamond plate. The diamond plate really
My
is
follow-up question.
diamond plate is like the Griffin signature stamp.
It is.
Didn't he like bedazzle it too?
Oh shit.
Possibly. But then I met all you folks, started going to Grinkfest, started sponsoring the events, even though the ones I didn't go to. And here we are, guys.
Yeah, we got to talk about that real quick too, because Slick Nick is actually sponsoring. We haven't announced this officially, and I don't know if we can do it right now, but let's just say Slick Nick is a major sponsor for this year's Grinkers. And dude, partnering with Crafty Mech, not giving anything else away besides that, but yeah, Slick Nick and Crafty Mech are doing a huge sponsorship this year. You guys are fucking amazing. It's going to be an amazing year. So, Grinkers.
Woohoo! It's only a little over 3 weeks away.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Dude, it's Tuesday. So, like,
Yeah.
3 weeks and 2 days.
And Nick, is this going to be your third year at Grinkfest? Is that right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
okay.
Well, I went to 4. No. Yeah, I did. I went to 4, 5, 6. So this will be my 4th.
Yeah, it's the
Nice.
7th.
Yeah, this will be your 4th.
Me too. That's when I went, because I'm like, I think I met him the first year I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Amazing.
you know, like you guys know, I missed the 80s. The only one memory I have of going to an actual arcade was I went with some friends to Marina del Rey here in Los Angeles, and they had the most amazing arcade I've ever seen. It was by the water. You took a few steps down, and you went in, and there was just a massive place with every kind of game you could possibly imagine. And the one game I was drawn to was Pole Position.
Oh, it's awesome.
And
Great game.
and I've been intrigued by that game ever since, and I work hard to try to set high scores on
Head
that.
up the Facebook group for pole position too, right?
Yeah, I have a Facebook group for it, and I've got a high score on your machine.
Yes, you do. you bastard.
So, what's your pole position score, man?
It's just a hair under 66,000.
Fuck, that's brutal.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, even to break 60 is an achievement, really. Yeah.
My best is like 30 something.
Wasn't that what Richie Nichols was saying? You should be in the 60s, or don't even talk to me.
No, yeah, totally, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
566, yeah.
Nick, you got to get a shirt made. I miss the 80s.
Yeah,
I wasn't here for the 80s, like an
I
airplane.
missed it.
Yeah.
He's almost like Buck Rogers, where he like woke up.
Yeah.
like a little airplane with a little stick figure Nick, like an arrow, and going to India and then coming back on the shirt, and he's just got all these arcade games. And there's like a
Yeah.
bubble above his head, like the games.
But you guys won't believe I'm still discovering movies I totally missed in the 80s. I'm still discovering songs maybe that I missed in the 80s too. And
All right.
You know,
So
it's-
what was your last movie you discovered?
shoot,
Big Trouble in Little China.
Fuck yeah. Best movie of all time.
Great freaking
RoboCop,
movie.
the original RoboCop movie.
Yeah.
I know those I saw in the early 90s. Obviously Bloodsport was one of them.
Fuck yeah. Jean
Totally
Claude.
missed that.
Oh, I love
Love Blood.
Kumite.
Kumite, all the Charles Bronson movies.
Yeah.
I like Charles
Death
Bronson
Wish.
a lot. Yeah, Death Wish. That's right. That's stuff like that. And of course, I was a huge fan of Knight Rider. And you guys know that I have a replica kit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yours talks and everything too, right? Like it says "Hi, Michael," and
It does. It has a full dash. I mean,
Shit.
you couldn't tell it apart from the real deal. In fact,
so
it's better.
if you push turbo, does it go whoosh?
Yes. So
Wait,
when
did
I
it have
pull
the pop out spoilers and shit like that?
Well, that's the
no, it
later.
doesn't have
the later
super
season?
pursuit mode.
I know.
But,
The hype.
but when I pull up, it's got a turbine that's super loud, and people are
Oh.
just jumping out of their skin.
Correct me if I'm
uh,
wrong, but did you used to have a Batman car too or something?
No, I did not have the
Okay.
Batmobile.
I
No.
thought you did.
No.
But you have like more than a couple of cars. I know that much.
All right,
Yeah.
we saw one of your cars when you brought it over to Keith's house, of course.
Yes,
the
my
Nat.
Mercedes.
Yep, the Mercedes was just fucking amazing. However, I desperately had wished you guys had driven the Porsche because I am in love with Nick's Porsche. That's a dream car for me, dude. It's fucking amazing. I know it's kind of Vanny's, right? It's like her car.
Bought it for
fit in
her.
a
She can't drive a stick, so
Oh.
I drive her around.
Wow, no! You
I
gotta
love,
teach her how to drive a stick.
dude. I love that car, dude. That's
But Andrew, can you even fit in it?
yeah. That's a
Backseat.
great. That's the great part about German cars, dude. Like Germans are big people, and that was my big
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Like so, like in the early '90s when I started getting into cars, I was living out in Monterey, California, so out with you guys, California people, and the first time I ever got into a Porsche, I always was like, "Oh, Porsche is so cool," but like I've never sat in one because I always figured they were tiny little cars, and I sat in a 84 gray market turbo. So it was a 935 turbo.
Plant nose?
No, it was a regular, no, it was a European model, not
Okay.
a US model. It was a gray market, right? So I got in it and I was like, holy shit. I've been driving Japanese cars. I've been a Honda guy, Acura guy for a long time as like a car guy. I was like, ooh, I like the Japanese stuff. But they were always fucking tiny. But I got into my first Porsche and I was like, holy shit. I can literally put like my whole fist on top of my head and not hit the roof, which is insane. And I was like, there's leg room. I put the seat back. I need to buy a Porsche because I fit in these fucking things. And that's the reason why I bought my 68 Porsche was because I was so excited about like, fuck man, I can like fit in these cars. And I love the classic lines, those designs. So sweet, so nice. 68 obviously is a little bit newer than your 356, but yeah, no. So Porsche, German guys, they're big guys. You can totally fit in those. All you
Yeah,
guys were
and,
like, no, I'm too big. You fit.
Actually, that's going to be the focus of if I can get my videos going on YouTube. YouTube, Instagram, the focus is arcade games, console games, cars, just the stuff that I'm into. So it's not one faceted, it's multifaceted.
I want to see the Knight Rider, Nick. I'm pumped
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah.
Inside. I want to see.
Too.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny is when I used to work for the airline, I forgot the actor's name with the voice. He was on St. Elsewhere, and I'm like
Fuck,
talking
what's
to
his
this
name?
guy, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's Mr. Feeney.
Yeah.
Mr. Feeney.
Yeah.
yeah. That was a little older. Yeah, I forgot he was on Boy Meets World. Is that what the show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm like listening to him, And you know what was funny is at the time
William Daniels. I think William Daniels.
I had this little MP3 player, and I'm like, should I play the Knight Rider theme? Because it was on my MP3 player. I go, I want to play it on the mic so bad because he's on board. I didn't do it. I go, nobody knew who I was. Like, who are you talking? Who is that guy? I go, he was the voice of Kit on Knight Rider. Like, I hear his voice, and it's just driving me crazy because that was what I'd known him as the most as. And I did watch St. Elsewhere too, but big Knight Rider fan.
So Nick, you mentioned it, but did you plug the actual name? It's Slick Nick Life, right?
Is that the
Nick
YouTube
Life
channel?
is on, that's Instagram. Slick Nick Life is Instagram. Everywhere else is just Slick Nick. So YouTube is Slick Nick. It is 2Ks for the Slick and 2Ks for the Nick as well. Yeah,
Nice.
and that's it. So I'm just getting it off the ground, just getting it started. Instagram's already taken off very well. And the YouTube, we just posted I posted my first video. And I'm looking forward to, coming up with neat ideas and just posting some short videos. I can't do the 2-hour, 3-hour John's Arcade
Right,
style, but I'm good 15 minutes.
And you're doing your own video editing and everything. What are you using for editing?
Yeah, so I just used my iPhone and iMovie. That was it.
Oh, okay. No, you can do that. I think
That's what
that's
I do too. I do the same thing.
So I saw the same thing. So like the shot. So I'm gonna talk about your first video on YouTube, which I just watched in its entirety tonight. So I saw it when you posted it, and I was like, ah, shit, I gotta put that. But then I wanted to make sure I saw it before the show tonight. So is that your first new inbox unboxing of a game? Talk about that experience, dude. Like that's
yeah, I would say it is. I've never bought a new game. I've always bought games that are beat up,
because we know you're a huge like pinball guy. Because we saw you just fucking kill it.
I've got one pinball machine. It's at my wife's office. It's Back to the Future. I had a couple others. I had Griffin's Judge Dredd at one point. I had a Jurassic Park, a Cue Ball Wizard. I sold them. I don't have enough room.
He bought it back from you at one point, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. We made some trades.
Okay.
Him and I have dealt quite a bit. He's a good guy.
Come on, Judge Dredd. How'd you get rid of that game?
Yeah. I didn't want to get rid of it. He wanted it back really bad. And I worked out some deal where I ended up getting his main machine.
All right.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, sorry, with the flipping monitor and stuff like that he had? Oh, he had a fucking amazing main machine.
Yeah.
No, he had didn't you get the one that was really the long monitor screen where that was part of the marquee or something? Or
yeah, he switched configurations on it 2 or 3 times. The final configuration was a 50 or 55-inch screen turned on its side.
Yeah,
stuck in. So it's still sticking up through the top.
See, I played that one right before he sold it to you. Yeah. I went to his house for his birthday and checked it out. Yeah, every time you switched a game, the marquee would change to the game.
Yeah.
That was part of the
dynamic marquee is what it's called.
It's pretty neat. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So
to answer your question, it's my first new game. I waited 2 years. I was hounding the guy on Facebook.
That's got to be rough. Machine. I mean, you basically paid full up front, right?
I did, but I got a good deal. I mean, I got it for less than $1,000.
Yeah, they had to up the prices. Like I think they underestimated it or something, if I remember right. And they had to reevaluate and put a new price tag on it. So all these early adopters like Nick got it for like a killer price compared to I think it doubled. I think didn't it or so?
Oh, tripled. Right. I mean, if you want to buy the same machine now, I think it's $3,500 or $3,000.
Wow.
But I discovered it on Kickstarter, and I immediately went and put the link on Clav. Hey, have you guys seen this? I'm thinking about backing it. Yeah. And we got a few backers that way, but 2 years later, it shows up. They did end up hitting me for like $550 in shipping. I paid it because I was still getting the deal.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing that pissed me off is they wouldn't even drop it off inside my house. They had to put it in the garage. So
that's the moving company though. They're real like
assholes.
You're lucky to get it close to your house.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't drop it off at your neighbor's house and get it.
Put it on the sidewalk and say, "See ya."
Yeah. That's exactly what they did with me with Wacko. I had to fucking drag that thing all the way around like half a block.
Oh, from your front yard? Oh.
Yeah, they dropped it in the front of the house because when I showed up, they were like, it was already off the truck, hitting on the ground, and I was like, wait a minute. I gotta pull that thing. I'm not going through the house with that fucking thing. What are you?
Yeah, but at least you're in a flat area though.
Yeah,
like you don't have to go up too many stairs or anything.
No, it just came in the garage, but still, I had it literally like in front of like all my neighbors.
You had to walk half a block.
Strap that thing to a hand truck because they just dropped it off and left.
Like I'm totally paranoid about. I've been thinking for at least a month now about how the hell it's going to work when I do eventually buy my first pin. And for my apartment, like I'm going to have to take the day off. I know that, but like, how's that going to work? I have a buddy, a Street Fighter buddy across the street that can help me move it. Stop that. Yeah,
Ding
but
dong.
beyond that, it's like I have to go up these short little steps, and I know, and it's kind of making me a little nut. Like I had to plan this out. It's not.
For
like
sure. You may have to unbox it like outside to drag up those stairs.
Yeah, and that makes me terrified. I don't want to
because the boxes are like
help. Yeah,
the boxes are definitely bigger.
Are they bigger than a normal like 30-some inch door?
Oh
no, it'll fit through, but it's just it tweaks by barely.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's a big box, dude.
Well, okay, so like the door to my complex is pretty darn. It's huge. I mean, because people have to get furniture and stuff in, and I think I could probably at minimum, like worst case, I could at least get it on the same floor, unbox it, and then wheel it into my apartment.
Now that I think about it, yeah, I had to take both my new unboxed pin machines
in a garage.
I brought them through the door. It's a single door.
Yeah. Oh, remember we had to take the door off to get the white water out.
Yeah. No, we didn't take the door off. No, we did.
That's right. That's right. It was just so.
You're saying you should take
it was literally like millimeters.
Barely,
millimeters on either side to get the head through the door.
Yeah, but it did fit barely. Yeah, you couldn't do that with in the box.
Yeah. Well, watching that Jersey Jack video about the unboxing, like I've looked at the manuals and stuff for like what you should do when you first buy a new unboxed pin, but the video that they posted for the dialed in where they were doing it at it was like a live stream, but it was it's on YouTube. It's like an hour and a half, but Jack is talking about it as he's doing it with his buddy Butch, I guess is his name.
Is it actually Jack?
It is Jack.
Wow.
Yeah. And he's a little guy. I didn't realize that, but he's a little tiny dude.
But he's got a big plunger.
What are you saying?
Where's my shorties?
So anyways, it's an hour and a half video, but it was very enlightening to me. It was fun to watch because there were things in there that I know are in their description, but it was good to watch because it's things I wouldn't think of. Like, okay, after you open up the box, remove the fucking staples. Because that could, when you pull the game out, that could scratch. Yeah, like things, little things like that.
Because like once you get it upright, and then it's like you want to basically peel the box like a banana.
How many beers? 3 beers.
Double, a twofer.
And hi, Donnie. I know that we have.
Hey guys, how are you?
Thanks for joining, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me sit in.
You should be broadcasting from the camper. No, the RV.
Yeah, a little chilly out there, maybe.
All right, so we'll definitely catch up with Donnie, who joined. But I just want to like finish the conversation with Nick. But yeah, it's like in Jim, it's like basically you want to like peel that shit like a banana. It's like you take all the sides down before you.
They talked about it 2 different ways. The way that they did it with the dialed in was they basically just opened the top, flipped it over, and the pin came out, or they pulled it out. Left the box mostly intact, as if like just in case, you need to send it back or something. But then they also described that you could cut it like a banana and like go. And to me that seemed more feasible and practical.
It's way safer. Yeah.
You cut the front,
because then you can see
the truck side, the side that says truck here.
Well, the parts where you put the legs on.
So you open it up, you cut it on the edges, and then you lay the flap down.
Yep.
Then you put your 2 legs on, and then you tilt it forward, and then you can.
Well, for pulling it out of the box, though, like I didn't realize that there's a specific side that says truck here for your dolly. That was new to me. Like I'm like, oh, that's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that because when I put Ghostbusters, which is my only new in-box game I've ever done, I put that one into the van. So the whole deal was like I couldn't transport it upright, so it had to lay flat, right? But I had to know which side was down. So basically, transported on its bottom side. So yeah, the truck side is the bottom side.
So you
But
don't
yeah,
transport it upside down. Yeah.
the same thing. But like the thing is, like you always want to peel it like a banana, and the reason for that is because if you get a bad game, it's not like you're putting it back in the box to ship it back to somebody.
Right.
It's not you're not saving the box. The box is destroyed once you get it home. So just cut the sides down. You've got plenty of space around it, but you want to be aware of like where you start cutting, and you always want to cut right on the edges.
Sure.
Even though there's a bunch of padding. And then once you get the bottom, like Steve said, done, then I folded that down, and then I went ahead and I cut the rest of the sides, peeled it like a banana, so then it was open, and then you can put the
Wiggle
legs
it
on.
forward. Mhm.
Yep. Then you put the legs on, lean it forward, then deal with the fact if you're doing it by yourself. Like
It's good to get like a little stool.
Yeah, you got to have a stool that's taller than the legs.
I think I would get Jason to come over to help me.
Oh yeah.
It is easier to have someone help you lift it and put the stool
But
underneath.
you like the thing is like again, like the game, the head will go through a standard door, but will the whole box go through a standard door? No, I don't think so.
That doesn't sound dirty. Not at all.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll find out. I mean, that's not for a while.
She's bigger than you think. Just saying.
Yeah.
Measure first.
Going
measure twice.
upstairs is like I don't know how.
I was telling Carrie earlier today when we were driving over here that from the airport that logging into Pinside, like I already had an account from like a year ago because that was when I thought I was going to be buying a pin. For whatever reason, that didn't happen, obviously. But so I logged in and I was like, I'm going to look up because right now the front runner for my first and for a while probably only pin. I want to get a new inbox, and right now the lead in there after playing a bunch of games is Willy Wonka. And so I'm like, I'm going to go on Pinside and I'm just going to look up Wonka, like Willy Wonka, and just read a bunch of threads stuff, see what people are saying about it, what I should be, whatever, just researching kind of. And I thought this was going to be a really fun experience, but it really hasn't been. It hasn't. And I blame partially Pinside for that. Like it's a lot more hostile on that forum than Clav, and that says a lot because Clav can be really fucking
pretty hostile.
Yeah, but I just feel like no one's happy on that forum. Like someone will post something, they'll be like, "Hey, look at this," like blah blah blah, and then you'll get like 5 people being like, no, "You suck." Like it's no
Sorry,
one can
Jamie,
be like
wrong.
Yeah.
No one on the forum seems to has a capacity, it seems like, to be like, hey, that looks great, good job, or I'm happy for you. It's everyone for themselves. It's do or die. Whereas like Clav can be that way, but I feel like people are way more forgiving and like I don't know. Anyways,
I don't know. To me, it's mixed. It just depends on the day you go and you post. Because sometimes one day you get a bunch of fuck faces, and then you get another day and everyone's like
bitching about a pinball table
and apple pie.
A table
In the table fun.
You just never know on Pinside, and I think Clav's the same way though. You can go in there and ask a simple little question like, "What should I do about the What are you
fucking search,
fucking retard?"
Yeah. All right, we can't say that word anymore. That's not a.
Oh yeah. Well, no, they said that. I don't say that.
I know. Oh, that's a quote. That's a direct
What
quote.
are you, a fucking mental case?
Exactly.
I don't use words like that.
Yeah,
But
no,
I know
no.
that's kind of things they say though. So you just never know. It just depends
Yeah.
because I've actually had a lot of really good, like with my Tron mods and stuff, or help with like I had problems with Monster Bash where the ball was getting stuck behind the bride, and like I had like a couple of people go, "Oh yeah, just loosen up the ramp and slide it down forward just to like I don't know 6 millimeters, and then retighten it and it'll fix it." I'm like, "Oh cool, worked." I'm like, "Great,
Good info.
No? Yeah, so it just depends on the day, and you might get a group.
Yeah,
of
maybe I'm
assholes
just not
that
used to it.
day.
Maybe it just takes like, yeah, maybe you're probably right. I'm just used to Clav, maybe.
Yeah, it's like
But
going to a
Clav
new
has a
school,
lot of
like a
jerks
new
too
high school, and all of a
sometimes.
sudden
Yeah.
it seems like everybody seems all scary.
Yeah.
I mean, Lewis was saying he had a great experience on
Right, with-
Inside talking about his
Yeah.
next gen, right? Which all the problems he had
And
with that one.
his EM too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
So-
there are helpful people
Yeah,
or
I'm just
hurtful
not
people
used to it,
everywhere.
And
maybe.
it also
Yeah.
could be the form you're in. Like right now, were you asking Willy Wonka because that's like a really hot
Well,
room right
I
now?
basically I did a search for Wonka and I looked at all these different threads. Hi. And like, yeah, this is
You got a
I know,
Sadie
that's-
boner.
Yeah, she took my seat, which is why I'm like,
and but like, so the first, like one of the first threads that like caught my attention was clear code issues with Jurassic Park and Wonka. I'm like,
yeah.
fuck. I'm like, okay, let's read this. And
Now
it's
yeah,
been going
now-
on.
And now you've got a lot of angry people in there. So you're going into a forum that already has a lot of pissed off customers that paid $12,000 for a pinball machine.
Look
Well,
at
then
that.
right
Oh
behind
my
that-
God. Holy
Right
Good job, Steve.
behind that, Jesus. Right behind that that thread is another one. Do I get a Jurassic Park or a Wonka? There was a lot of comparisons because those are the two newest or newer pins, Wonka.
Yeah, and they're very
Jurassic Park.
expensive pinball
Mhm.
machines
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, they're
So,
brand new.
so you got people
Nice.
that have bad clear coat. They have a right to be angry, and so when
Yeah.
you start asking some questions, there,
Oh,
people are
totally.
already angry.
Well,
Yeah.
I have no dispute. Like I have nothing against that, but like the threads beyond that, where I'm just Jesus. Sorry, the dog is like tripping on the cord here. It's a trifecta over here. So, anyways, I'm losing my train of thought. But the thing is that like it wasn't those two threats. Like I understand, okay, but it seems like, man, people are really like, is this affecting the gameplay where they're talking about clear coat pooling and
Tipping,
like
pivots
chipping,
and all that.
chipping I can understand because that is like, but like they're like going under these things with a fucking microscope and like removing things and like, oh, this post, look at this, and they're posting these pictures. I don't even know what I'm looking at. Like, and some people are even responding like, what am I looking at here? Like, they're like, can you see this? Oh my God, fucking A. And
I like it when they circle it.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at here. It looks black and black, or it looks,
I was
whatever.
looking through the thread today actually, and somebody got shipped a Wonka that was missing posts.
Oh
I
shit.
couldn't believe it. I was like, "Oh!"
That's
So the thing's
the
just getting
secret
plastic.
collector edition.
yeah.
yeah. So people get upset because you spend so much money.
Well, that I totally
machine.
understand. That's why I'm actually looking at these threads
And
because I'm
these
like,
kind
God
of
damn, this is
problems-
more money than I've ever spent on anything. Like we've
Yeah,
talked about this.
it's car money, essentially. Like
It
a used
is.
car.
It is. I've never spent more than $500 or $600 on a vid.
Yeah.
Actually, Gap Plus was the most I've ever spent on a vid, right up front, like before restoration or anything like that. That was $500.
So did we get on this topic because we were talking about the
Totally went
table?
off tangent
Because
because
No,
I'm
yeah.
totally-
So this is a new in box conversation because
Sorry, Nick.
I wanted to get
Hey,
back
look,
to Nick's
Nick,
new in box.
Yeah.
Nick just
opening.
left. Yeah.
Because I want to hear about the Pong
Yeah,
table.
fuck
Yeah,
I
let's
want to
hear
hear
about
more
the-
about the Pong. So,
Yeah,
100%,
so-
this is all about Nick and
I'm gonna go get
Yeah.
another beer, but sorry,
Yeah.
Nick. Let's keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
So
It's all about Nick.
I,
Sorry
cov-
to
I,
derail,
I covet that Pong table, so I want to hear more
Dude.
about it.
fucking
Sure.
amazing.
So I mean,
Let's hear
I
more.
have it. It's in the arcade. I'll do a little walkthrough for you guys after we're done talking here, and you can see it. But yeah, I mean, this thing was everything I thought it was going to be, and more. It's bigger than I thought it was going to be. It's definitely heavier than I
That's
thought
what
it
she
was
said.
going to be. Yeah, good one.
Oh.
And
I'm just gonna shut up. You got
it's got a real commercial feel to it. The controls feel solid. It
Yeah, that
doesn't feel-
knob looks pretty amazing.
Yeah.
leave it to Andrew to always be talking about the knob.
Yeah, with hand gestures.
That's
What's
where I go
important?
first. Is the knob, but it has like some contour
I
design.
just thought this was more
Help you
like
to see it
straightforward.
better.
It
right?
is, but
Yeah, so
That thing looks
the
fucking amazing.
yeah, the paddles
Yeah,
and the
you
ball
have to
are all like rectangular.
Or you could just
square.
do this and like truck it a little bit over there.
And it's
So
all
when
go ahead.
Well, so I played one at CAX in 2018, and
Same one.
Yes, I figured that. But so what I noticed in playing it was that there was kind of a weird lag. I only got to play one game because
There was like an input delay.
Yeah, there was an insane line to be able to play it, and there was some kid that was like, "I'm the only person you're gonna play," which made it really difficult to enjoy it.
We beat them up.
Yeah, I forgot we did. I think eventually. Like,
You can't walk to this day.
Yeah. So is it still kind of, because it was like I would love one, because it actually, what I like about it is it's coffee table size as opposed to a cocktail where it's just too tall to actually serve as a coffee table. But that the lag in playing it was really disconcerting. Did they fix that in the production?
Yes. So I remember playing that same one at CAX in 2018, and I walked away really disappointed.
Okay.
I was telling my wife, if I get this thing, I'm just going to sell it. I don't. If it plays like this, I don't want it. Yeah. And so I already had bad expectations based on what they were showcasing at CAX, but it tweaked it, so it's better now.
Woo! Oh, that's awesome.
I won't say it's 100%, but it's tweaked enough to where I can enjoy a game. I can play against the computer. I can follow back and forth quite a bit, and it's enjoyable.
Oh, that's awesome.
But
so you still want to sell it though, right? And you want to sell it to me because we're California buddies.
If I do sell it, you'll get first dibs. How about that?
All right. Yes, you got it.
Nick's closer to me though. I might buy it.
Yeah, but I asked first.
You don't have the room, Mock. We know this.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't have the room.
I'll put it right here.
You'll sleep on it.
I'm gonna sell this chair over here. So that must be a cool conversation piece, because people walk in and see all the lights on it and everything and go, "What is this?" And so that must be cool.
Well, I mean, when people come over, a lot of them have never seen an arcade before. So the arcade itself is a conversation piece, as you guys well already know, right? So, but now, and I haven't had anybody over since I've got the Pong table, but I'm waiting to see what the reactions will be for people who walk in and see it. And it kind of looks magical in a way, because you've got these squares and they look like they're floating, and the ball's square too. And, they're just going back and forth, and it's just
really
robotic looking.
It's a physical piece. It's not just a digital representation.
That's what we were
actually
talking about. Like it's a mechanical,
real mechanical thing. Yeah. That's
it's
amazing.
It's not like a virtual pin or something like that.
That's
like,
awesome that you got in on the Kickstarter with that too. Like,
but isn't the physics of it, isn't it all calculated like a Pong though? I mean, it's still calculating. If you hit it like this, the ball's it calculates the physics of a bouncing ball, right?
Yeah, because it's dragging it back and forth with magnets. I mean, that's
All right, so that was actually one of my questions too, because it seemed like watching your video, which actually was the first time I'd really seen someone playing it. I watched some of the videos when they were announcing it, but I've never seen like a not developer of the game play it. You were the first time I saw that video, and it seemed like you could capture the ball, and there was like a certain amount where you'd spin the wheel up and the ball would move along the paddle.
Yes.
Right. So it's like where you released it would depend on your serve. Right. So if you spun it up, then the ball slightly flows up your paddle, and that would affect the trajectory of release.
Yeah. So even the computer is pretty savvy. So he'll move his paddle back and forth like this, and the ball will rock back and forth on it.
Right.
Before you
there's like a rocking to the ball.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw in the video, the computer aced me once. I mean, it's pretty smart.
Yeah.
So this video is on YouTube?
Yes.
Okay, so what's the name of your channel?
Slick Nick. 2 Ks for Slick, 2 Ks for Nick.
All right, so
I'm changing my channel. That's right. I'm changing my channel to 34KK.
Thank you.
Careful.
My brand new channel, question mark?
I like Slick Nick.
Or no, this isn't it.
And I'll be arts and craft with Gak.
That's right. We're doing double Ks on everything.
Arts and cock with Gak.
I like your
Darn
man
God.
dog there, Nick. I have a dog like that too.
Oh,
We got a visitor.
Very tough.
hey.
Oh, hey.
Hello.
I'm wearing earphones so she can't hear you guys, so I'll translate.
So we're just hoping you can see our pictures of us waving.
Oh, puppies.
This is Billy.
Nick, you can tell us the pit bull's eating in the other room.
Miss Slick
Yeah,
Nick.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Aw, what a cute-
I have a dog like that too. Very, very girly dog. I love
Come
this.
here.
We can hear her, but she can't hear us.
Yes.
They can hear you.
Excellent.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Hey guys.
She heard that.
Looking
Oh,
forward to
look at
seeing
the
you
horse.
in Idaho.
Who wouldn't
Yes.
hear that? It's
Oh,
so
yes,
loud.
that's going to be
I'll
super
hit the
fun.
top.
Pretty much everyone here is going to see you in Idaho. We're going to give you big hugs.
Yep.
Hey Nick, do you have it
She
set
can
up?
hear
So
you
you,
guys now.
Is it
Oh,
your
look at
birthday
that.
weekend? So, yes.
It's Leo.
Yeah, right.
So
Your
will be
birthday.
your birthday weekend, right?
Oh,
She's turning 40 at Grinkers.
Oh, no way.
Another
What's up
cake?
the cake?
She's committed. All right, she's committed.
Nice.
with
Yeah,
another
we
black
party.
cake.
Okay, now I remember the both of you. Now that I see her, it's like, oh, that's who Slick Nick is. Because I met
Oh my god.
he was a lot better looking than he
Ice cold
was.
Beer.
Aw.
Ouch.
Oh.
Chocolate cake? Anyone?
Yeah.
Black cake. It was
Yeah,
black.
That's right.
For the 40.
He's black.
For the 40th. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
It's
No, that was the 39th. So this year she'll be 40 at Grinkers.
Yeah. Nice.
Awesome.
a couple more weeks.
I know. It's like so around the corner, right?
I know. We're super
Yeah.
close.
Yes.
Oh.
So close. We're so close.
So Vonnie, aka Miss Slick Nick, are you gonna play Nat with us again this year?
For sure. I'd love to do that.
Okay.
How about Warlords?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we need
That was the
All
first
ladies
like all
warlord.
girls, all women
Yeah.
Warlords.
Mhm.
Yep.
All
That was
women's
fun.
warlords?
That was
Stop
fun.
taking my jokes. I was just going to say that.
Dude, and actually, Nick, thank you so much because I saw you were wearing the Warlord shirt in your video. Like the first,
Yes.
at least the first part of it when you were doing the unboxing. I was like, oh man.
Yeah,
look
this
at that.
shirt, right?
He's,
That's
oh, yeah.
That's the one.
And Yak is wearing it tonight. So there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. And Donnie is wearing our whack off.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure enough.
Love
You
it.
got your whack. You got our whack off on your
You
chest.
should have led with that.
Yeah.
Hey,
Tonight I almost wore the same shirt that Andrew's wearing.
Oh,
Cobra
the Cobra Kai.
Oh,
never dies.
Oh, look at we got prototype.
Look at
ones.
that.
Bart has prototype on.
Look at
Sorry, I got
Oh.
Yeah.
Prop. Oh, and Dave from Buffalo is wearing.
I'm here doing
our own.
press.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Shit. Oh my
Damn.
God.
Oh, nice.
You have to
That's a
T-shirts
nice
are-
shirt, Dave. I kind of want one of those.
Leo, you're just gonna
Guys,
have
I'm
to
gonna
show us
place
your
an
hairy
order.
chest.
I gotta send it whatever size and color you want. I gotta
Yeah.
do it.
Show us
I
your
want-
chest, Leo.
Dave, I want a green in that.
Well, there's a whole
Dave,
color.
I'll take a medium men's.
Oh,
Oh,
Look at that.
I don't want to
First
rip it
step.
when I do this.
he's
No,
going to the gun
tomorrow.
show.
I'll get the guy in touch with the guy. Just send the link and like tell me what you want, and this is the price, and I'll mail him the Grinkers, and we can.
Wait, are we getting a shirt or what are we getting here? Jeez.
We gotta buy it.
Oh.
I'm not buying them.
Leo
I'll buy the
pop.
ones for the raffle. But
Right,
you-
he snuck
you gotta
in.
pay.
Leo is snuck in.
I snuck in, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm good at that. I'm very good at that.
He's a sneaker.
He's the sneaker.
Peter, we got a sneaker.
We got a sneaker. Got a sneaker. Jim, you couldn't pack up your entire computer system just so we could have the soundboard tonight.
I know. I was
Wait,
really.
It's
debating.
how many monitors? It's only a couple monitors, a big ass tower, a desk, microphone. It's
That's
not that
nothing.
much stuff.
Yeah, carry on.
Shit.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can set that up in 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
There'd be no room in the overhead bins.
Look at the Slick Nick's dogs.
That tastes a little.
Oh,
Aww.
Good too.
Aww.
Oh, and Mock is wearing Cuphead.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. Nah, we
There
talked,
he
we
is.
talked about that this week.
Yeah.
Cuckold? No, what? No.
Don't be like that.
okay, Nick. I gotta ask, what are the puppies' names?
This is Billy and this is Brownie.
This is Billy and this is Mitchell.
Brownie's a German Shepherd Husky. She's about 80 pounds.
Oh.
Big girl.
He's
Wow.
going to get
Billy's
bigger.
Billy's a mini Labradoodle.
Oh.
Aw.
Tell the Labradoodle, yeah.
How old is she?
Get that. Mm-hmm.
Billy is 1.5.
Yeah.
1.5,
Oh,
and Brownie
okay.
is 2.5.
Still growing. Yeah.
All right, so like her paws are like this, and she's going to be about that much bigger when she.
She's grown. No, she's grown. She's fully grown now.
Fully grown.
Yeah, 3.
Billy is
Yeah, she's been about Brown. Both of them are fully grown now.
really. Huh.
Yeah.
I heard Shepherd is like those are notoriously big dogs.
She was growing when we got her. She was 8 pounds,
Oh,
and then
wow.
the next month she was 16 pounds, and then the next month she was 24 pounds, and then she was growing by 8 pounds every month until she got to her current size.
Wow.
Until she stopped drinking beer.
Jeez, if I start drinking beer, I lose 20 pounds a month.
You mean both, buddy?
Nick, you want to do a tour?
What was that?
I want to see your arcade. I don't know how long they're going to keep going.
Yeah, I can do a tour. You guys ready for a tour?
100%.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Do it up.
Get my earphone back then.
Show us a tour.
Are we going to see the Pong?
Oh no! Now we can talk about her.
Bye,
She can't hear us.
Bonnie.
Bye.
I'm really hoping. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I'm hoping to see a fridge full of fudge cookies.
Oh boy.
It's not dark enough.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on. Leo joined. We have 9 people. Hi, Andrew.
Wow, you just
Hey,
realized
Dave.
Oh,
Hey, Gak, way down there.
We're doing the Brady Bunch.
Really
There's a story. Sneaky left cheek.
Well, and the other thing that which maybe Nick will actually show in the video, but like I remember seeing.
So Nick, your whole house is all arcade and video game themed, pretty
Let
much.
the poor man speak.
Well, can he be presented?
I am gonna see if I can present him.
Can he be
Spotlight.
broadcast or presented?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, there we go.
Hey,
All right, you're being presented right now.
You got me.
Okay, so I'll walk
We
you guys
see
through
all.
it. So I've basically kind of taken over this wing of the house. So this is an office space.
Wow.
I
This
like
is where
your
I was sitting.
That's quite a monitor you got there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a 55-inch.
That's how I got you.
Bad
That's
boy.
what she said.
That's cool.
Yeah, exactly. That's what she wished she
That's
said.
awesome. You gotta
Huh?
put
Look at my monitor skills.
really enjoy it.
Wait, what was that lunchbox?
Oh, that's
Stranger
the
Oh,
Stranger
what's in
Things.
the lunchbox?
Oh, there we go. It was so fast. All right.
Stranger
Oh, that's cool.
No.
Hey, I'm going to buy
Oh,
that
and you go.
stuff. Yeah.
Look who
Oh,
that
Street
is.
Fighter. There we go.
18.
Got
Yeah.
the Brofest
Mr.
cup.
T.
The Bro
Oh,
Fest.
yeah,
Yeah.
look at that.
I didn't know Slick Nick went to Rowfest.
No, I sponsored one of them.
Yep.
Oh, so you got a cup. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
You can just leave the camera there.
That's a
Oh,
Street
I
Fighter,
see
yeah.
Grand
porn.
Grandmaster. Oh yeah, I've got that poster.
Yeah.
Love
Those
that.
cartridges or cassette tapes on the wall there, or what was that?
Looked like
Red
a
thing?
Oh,
right at the door?
this is a custom piece that I made, an art piece, which is some
Oh.
Donkey Kong
Oh,
trading
wow.
cards.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
nice. Oh.
I just basically bought a board, painted it
Oh,
Donkey Kong red.
I
ColecoVision.
do
Wow.
like the ColecoVision because that was
Very
the first
cool.
system I had. That's funny. I like
Awesome.
that. It's a good idea.
That was really close to the arcade when that came out
It's the only one
too.
that's square on.
Dude, I want to get all the cartridges now and make the same thing, all the different systems on a board like that. You just gave me an idea.
Yeah,
Wow.
right, Dave.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Okay.
French
Thank
doors.
Yeah.
You saw the light bulb go in front of you, Dave.
Drink those Bud Lights and love
Do, do,
it.
do, 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 do.
Ta-da.
So,
Oh, is that
Nick, I
the-
gotta ask, what was this room originally? What was the room intended to be for that house?
a
This
studio?
was a game room.
It was a game room originally. Okay. So it
When
probably
we
had-
bought it, the old owners had a pool table in there and a piano or something else.
How stupid!
Useless.
Waste of space.
No good. God damn.
What a waste of space.
Waste of money.
That's
All right,
dumb.
So,
Space
Space
Invaders.
Invaders Deluxe.
Did that?
Yes.
Awesome. I that's one I really want to get at some point.
Lunar Lander.
Lander.
Nice.
Okay.
Old but fun.
Yeah.
A+ condition.
I love the handle on that. That's the most fun part
I mean,
of that.
That's
That's
the
the game.
selling point for the game is
Right,
that
yeah.
fucking control.
So
Yeah, the
here's your
control
blinked
handle.
out Paperboy.
Like Paperboy, right?
Griffin
I love
eyes.
It's all the control.
I love it. I love Paperboy.
Look at those grips, those mushroom grips.
I heard mushroom.
Yeah,
That side art's nice. I do like it.
a Gak knew what I was talking about.
Nice little sign there, too.
The ODI mushroom grips.
That's right. Yep.
Where's
What
the Devo hat?
What is that machine there?
Fuck, that's for you to answer.
So that's got an Xbox, an old Xbox, and it running coin ops. So I've got all the different games in there too, sort of like a main setup.
Right.
Okay.
Yay.
I think Nick wants to do
Ma just got a
dollar Street Fighter match.
So, Nick, I gotta know, like, how many games do you think were influenced by, like, John's Arcade or Grinkfest, all that kind of stuff?
So John's Arcade was not an influence. I really enjoyed his videos, but my influence came from seeing games on Claws, and then when I went to Grinkfest is when I really was like, holy crap. Yeah. Now you guys know, this is why I went crazy after seeing those, because I missed the 80s. So there's games I'd never seen before. So I said, I got to get one of those.
I apologize if you answered this already, but when did you join Clav? Or when did you start actually visit? Like, I shouldn't say when you joined Clav, but when did you actually start visiting the site, the forums? Yeah.
I started visiting probably 2008, 2009. I think I officially joined in 2012.
Okay. That's actually, that's pretty mainstream. A lot of people.
Yeah,
I think,
2011, I think, is when I joined. Yeah, right around the same time.
Yeah, I was a lurker and joined in 13.
Yep.
I've been collecting
same thing. I was lurking
2003.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. Yep. I joined in 04.
I think I was around 13. Yeah.
I'm the weird one.
Oh, I love Thief.
Yeah.
I love Carnival
54.
Yes. I love Thief a lot.
Oh, Carnival, yeah.
Oh, that's a boner for Mock right there.
What is that? Yeah.
Yeah, look at Mock.
Griffin, right?
Mock just got a mean boner.
That's the cabinet from Griffin.
Is that Griffin's? Okay.
Yes.
I can recognize it.
So this cab
Who's
here
Griffin?
has a bit kit in it.
Yes.
Oh.
The perfect cab for it.
Yep.
The same thing I've got right back there.
Yeah, you do, right?
Yep.
Neo Geo.
Avatar, yeah.
4 or 5 buttons and 2 joysticks.
Those Neo Geo cards up there, cartridges.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
AES.
What's that song? The four.
Yeah, I was just doing it.
Four colored buttons and 2
Mock, always the echo of the channel.
Yep.
I like Nintendo. I do like
Oh, you got the
Nintendo
remix
collection.
topper. Nice. Yeah.
I like Popeye. You got Popeye? Good for you.
Fuck yeah,
I'm a Popeye
love that
fan.
game.
I'm a Popeye fan.
That's a heck of a Nintendo reel right there. What?
Yeah.
Tell the story on the
Dave loves a good Popeye.
Yeah, what's
choice in white in the middle there?
Yeah.
Say it again,
How
the
did you
mushroom?
get that?
Yeah, what is that?
That's a neon light, a mushroom neon light.
Oh, awesome. But the cabinet, the
Is this a
machine-
straight play choice or what's up with that cab?
Yeah, that's a Play Choice 10. It's white.
Damn.
It's got
Yep.
9
it's custom.
cartridges in it, plus the 10th one is a NES Super Cart, like a mega cart with all the games
Awesome.
in it.
So it's all custom art. You did all that?
No, actually, I bought this from Riddick Rick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've never seen that Black Donkey
Ah.
Kong remix marquee. Is that
Handicap.
Yeah, me neither. That's weird.
is that a custom thing you did, or did you buy that
I
off
don't
of
care
somebody?
what you
That
say,
Donkey
Nick.
Kong
You can play
remix?
Street Fighter. You got a fucking
So
candy.
right there, that one. The Donkey
don't,
Kong.
Don't sandbag
marquee.
yourself. You can play Street Fighter.
Yeah, that was from Riddick Rick as well. He did
Okay.
an art kit for this. I didn't like the side art and all that. I just put the marquee in there.
Marquee. Okay. Nice.
And you've got that multi thing. I've seen that before. So it's got what, DK Junior and Mario Brothers? Is that
Yeah.
why? Oh, because you don't
yeah.
have a Mario Brothers.
That's
so
like an
you-
officially licensed
That's
one.
a Dave and Buster's style.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I played it.
And the screen's like, isn't it
Is it-
like
is it-
turned on
it's
its
a
side
It's
or
a
something?
25-inch monitor. I
It's
think.
20 inch.
Yeah.
20 inch.
25.
It's
No,
25 in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Well,
Yeah,
because like
it is
what?
vertical.
Well,
It's
no,
the
but like
vertical
the Namco cabinet is just a 20 inch. So that's a bigger monitor than Namco.
Oh, yeah.
It's 25. It's
Look
huge.
at-
It's like
Holy
edge
It's
to edge.
ridiculous. I played that at Dave and Buster's. Yeah.
Look at Nick's clock doesn't tell the right time
Yeah.
either.
That's just a time delay. That your clock-
Mine's says 7:15 right now.
Reach down there? What was that?
It's so
Yeah,
weird.
I'll show it
make
to
a
you.
clock that doesn't work.
I know. It's like they got one
Right?
job to do.
Awesome.
Oh, I love that fridge, dude. I'm such a Coca-Cola fan.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, you got an iCade down there. All the posters, love it. Nice.
Yeah.
Love it. Oh, a tapper.
Dude, actually, that was the other thing I wanted to say about your video is like I love seeing when you were doing the chat about the cabinet. I love seeing those posters from all of our events sitting in the background. Dude,
Yeah, that's cool.
That's so special to me. Just
You got to mount it on
hanging up.
like wood or something. They're not in frames.
They're mounted on foam board, and then I've got them double-sided taped to the brick. But I have to tell you, these things are my pride and joy. I love these things. I love the fact that I participated in them in one way or the other. I love the artwork, and I've got space now here created right on top of the last one, or the XY. This is Chris's tournament.
Right.
Yep.
Nice.
All the next ones are going to go up here on this wall.
We have we have another one. So this year our poster has officially been sponsored by Geach. So we have a new poster coming this year.
Yeah, he was in my stream last night.
That's great news.
Yeah. So Geach has paid for our poster this year, so everyone's going to get a poster.
It's Coin Rejects, Geach.
Yes, he's friends with those guys. Yes.
Well, he's friends with those guys, but that's not his.
I love that those guys.
Them, yeah.
But yeah, Geach sponsored
Track
our
and
poster.
field.
Can you move the right tab?
Oh, it's the coaster inserts.
I love those coaster inserts. Those things are amazing.
Yeah.
So
move that tapper handle. That's gonna bug me. I'm just kidding.
Rotate it.
He wants you to rotate it so it points forward.
That's also a different kind of marquee for the Robotron.
2084. Yeah, that's like
Is that the prototype one or something? Or?
That's the prototype one, yes.
Yes, I thought. Okay.
And then on this, I did a custom bezel, which my wife designed.
Nice.
Hey.
Nice. Both of those.
Good too.
That's got a ring to it. That could be like a name. My wife designed.
Yeah.
So my one of my other pride and joys in here is this.
There
you go.
Oh, look at that.
That's right.
Rubbing it in. Nice.
Yeah, totally.
Hold on. Let's see the entire.
There's
spine there.
another one over there on the
There's
left.
two more. Yeah, there's
Two
two
more.
more.
Yeah, but that's the main
You know
one.
what's so funny is like most people have like their law degrees and
Yeah.
like that and all this stuff.
His doctorate.
That's awesome. I love seeing that though. That's great.
Cool.
Oh,
there's
I forgot about it.
I don't. Just FYI.
Sorry, Carrie.
You don't sound sorry at all.
Dude, and actually the funny part about that story is that I beat Nick our very first game. He was supposed to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He like we played, I don't remember what we played, Nick, but like I played you and like I managed to beat you somehow.
So wait, some people
And you
on
were
the
supposed to
chat
be
don't know
done.
that story.
To this day,
and you
I
came
still
back
don't
and
like
just
it.
fucking dominated.
I
Yeah.
fucking hate Cactus Canyon because of that.
That's a great.
I refuse. Like if someone offered me a Cactus Canyon for free, I'd be like, "Fuck you! I don't want a piece of that."
and then you would take it.
So people in chat don't know the story though. So we had a tournament in San Diego at Keith's house, a pinball tournament, and Carrie was rocking everybody, beating everybody. Nick was in the losers bracket, and he fought his way through the losers bracket to finally make it all the way up to the main winner, which is Carrie.
Yeah.
Elimination or triple elimination? I can't remember now. It's like if you lost
It was
somebody,
double. Yeah.
Double.
Yeah, it was double.
Yep.
lost the first round and then you just kicked butt after that.
Yeah, Nick was
yeah,
just rocking
he
it all the way
basically he
through the
lost to
losers
me
bracket.
the first game and then won every single
Yeah.
game after that.
And then he and I, so Nick, you and I went to like whatever it was, like 2 out of 3. Like it was down to the last game, and it was
nail biting.
It wasn't nail biting. Yeah, we
check all the stickers.
Nice stickers, absolutely.
Oh.
And poor
Yeah, look at
Keith,
that.
the host of the whole thing.
Ass hats. I
No.
love that sticker.
Yeah.
I have it right here too. I'm like
That,
saving
that-
stickers.
that's on my rollaway right here.
Awesome.
Nice.
I love seeing someone who uses our stickers because that's
Yeah.
I can't figure out what to stick them on.
Yeah, Nick, where did you put the magnet?
Andrew, a beer fridge.
Yeah, beer fridge. That's right.
Fridge.
Well, it's I got the Grinkers magnet on my beer fridge. I'm reaching out for that one.
Yeah.
And the
That's where my Grinkers magnets are with the
and the Grinkers, the dragon. I got that in the beer
yes.
fridge. So this year, maybe.
Jack Bill.
Oh, look at that!
We go into another room with more games in it.
The overflow.
Oh my God.
Oh, so we
Oh
gotta-
wow.
Oh, it's
Tio Wacko, Arkanoid.
So is this a 3-car garage?
Yes.
Okay.
Is this the
I
only
can-
garage you have?
Yes, I can fit 3 cars in here.
On a good
Even with all
day.
the
In
games.
addition to the games,
Dude.
oh my god, wow.
Love the wacko.
Oh wow, even
Battlezone.
more.
Like Battlezone.
Damn, there's a lot back there.
So,
Got Space Zap.
Nick, where did you find your wacko at?
DJ DNS.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
And he's
Was
like,
it to make me an offer?
And he posted
guess.
Yeah.
600 games.
It wasn't cheap.
I've sold games that I
I'm
could
sure.
Big Blue, look at you with your fucking champ sprint right there, which I'm
Yeah.
super
Love all
jealous
This guy
about.
can play Street Fighter. I am not convinced that you
That's
don't know how
the
to
car
play.
racing row, right?
Look, how many fucking wheels you got on that row over there?
The dude's got like
Lots of
three Street
wheels.
Fighters.
Nick,
I mean,
did you restore
Good thing
your,
that's in the garage.
your Super Hang On? Did you do that? Because it looks like Jim's. Like it's so nicely painted. I have a Super Hang On sitting over here, and it looks like it's been smoked on because it's so,
Hmm.
so
They're
yellow.
all yellowed when you get
My
them.
bad.
It's great.
They're all Dave. They're all yellowed.
But he restored
original.
that.
He
No, I didn't restore mine.
You see, you bought it like that?
I bought it
Restored?
that way.
It looks beautiful.
Oh, you got like
Is that a frogs?
Yeah, Nick, I think I remember that one. That was
Yeah,
actually
he
a
got that
decent
right
deal
after
on
Drinkers.
eBay. It was like a decent deal on eBay, I want to say even. You had to pay shipping, but the actual selling price wasn't too bad, I recall.
wow, look at that car.
Yeah, that's my
Dude.
fucking dream car.
Another
right there.
10.
Dude, okay, right? Like you have a great collection, but oh my god,
I
let's see
love that
car.
fucking color too. That's
Yeah, that's a pretty
Right?
cool color.
That is amazing.
Beautiful.
356.
We don't talk about cars on this show.
Oh, but we
The
could
Jeep's not
talk
bad
about
either.
them.
Is it better than a Lamborghini Countach?
It's actually it's better to drive. 100%. Countachs suck to drive.
Wow.
You could actually back that thing up as opposed to a
He's like,
Countach.
yeah, we're getting out of there. We're not going to talk about
Yeah,
that.
I don't want to talk about my car.
Yeah.
Go away.
We're not here to talk about cars.
And that's it, folks.
All right, that was a good
Wow.
start.
Really nice
Nice to
collection.
Get off the show.
And then
No,
you
just kidding.
have other games that are like at your office or something like that, right? Too.
Yeah, and unfortunately, and I'll do a video about this, we got served a 30-day eviction notice this month.
What?
Yeah, somebody bought the building, doctor, and we've got kind of the flagship unit at the back, and the doctor wants to take it on for himself. So
Oh man.
served us a 30-day notice, so we got to move all the games out. We found a new space already.
Screw that. Be a squatter. Make him arrest you.
That's right.
Squatter. He's squatting.
Yeah. You can stay there another year and a half if you want to do.
Oh, and you can unpresent Nick.
I thought I did, but
That's nice of you.
You already are. He's already
Okay.
cancel the spotlight video. Done, right? Someone else?
No, come
already.
on. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yay.
Right,
Now
now
it's
we can
moving
present
around.
to you, but no.
A lot of people in chat are really liking your collection, Nick.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's a good, solid collection.
It's
And those fucking stools that they sent with the game. So was it 2 or 4?
It was 2. I had the option to buy, and then I got 2 more for referring somebody to
Ah, gotcha. I thought I saw that in the unboxing where you had a bunch of boxes, just undid the one. But like, I need some of those stools for my red tent.
Those are
I mean,
awesome.
someone that's like the perfect size, right? Where you
The
can like,
Nintendo logo one though.
well, yeah, it couldn't be. Well, I wouldn't mind.
Red
the
tent's
ones
tricky
either,
though,
but like,
because like you don't want your knees fucking hitting the. That's the problem. Do you run into that too, Andrew, where your knees hit the coin box?
well, the problem is like the area. Even if I put bare feet, like no shoes, from the bottom of my foot to my knee is taller than the red tent's control panel.
Yeah,
So I
you
literally
got
cannot
the height of
come
the
up.
control panel. Even if you had the extender, you've got that as a
Yeah.
barrier. Plus, you've got how shallow. You don't have to barely like put your knees in to hit the fucking coin.
Right.
So I've
So-
kind of
that
played
much.
it, jointing mine up all the way, so you could just do a bar stool in front of it.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, the depth is still fucked up too. So the
Yeah.
control,
Yeah,
it
your
hangs
knees
out
is
so
still
far.
missing.
So it's like it's that awkward.
Huh.
Yeah.
Then you get people. You have a party, and you're like, "How in the world are two people supposed to sit side by side?" and
Oh,
play this?
it's definitely like one of these things. Like when
It's-
you're playing next
It's
to each
basically
other.
the same argument. It's the same argument as like you look at campers from like the 60s and 70s, where like the beds are like
Yeah.
5 feet long. And it's like, oh, that's right. That's when people didn't grow past like 4 foot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
No milk and fresh vegetables.
Yeah, the Japanese. Yeah.
They weren't drinking their milk.
La cucaracha.
I was thinking. We lost Donnie. We took too long.
I know. We were like hoping for a
Donnie.
Donnie story. So
Yeah,
what happened? Dave from Buffalo isn't even here to fucking explain that.
Oh,
Yeah,
Dave's
I
done.
think-
Donnie, if no one knows,
He'll be
was
back.
like our
Dave will be
buddy at Brofest 3?
Yeah, Dave
Yeah.
will be back.
Brofest 2.
2. All right,
Well,
yes.
no.
No, it was 3.
Donnie, come back.
It was
a-
3 or 4.
Brofest 3.
Donnie, come back.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, it was Brofest 3 where we did the Donkey Kong change a diaper.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes. And Dave played the guitar.
Oh, wait, that was Sneak Fest 1. That was Sneak Fest. That was the
That
first.
was that was the first Sneak Fest.
All right. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
yeah, yeah. It was going to be Brofest.
Yeah, because we did Nat. That was the
That's right. That was our first Nat
That was
Yeah.
our first Nat.
Flash.
Mhm.
at Fun Spot. That's right.
Yeah.
It's going to be
He's
Bro.
a local
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, our first,
It was
first
the,
Nat to open to kind of outsiders because we had done
Yeah.
our Nat in
It was-
San Diego.
It
And
was
then we
the
started
wipe my ass Donkey Kong.
That's what yeah, exactly. And he
Tell me
had,
what it was.
and Donnie
Wipe my
had an
butt.
advantage because he
They've
had
done it before.
Yes, kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you,
We-
yeah. Dad,
I
why
think-
my butt? Can you believe this?
And I think they got all the spare diapers when we were done from
They,
that.
They
yes,
did.
exactly.
It was a
Yes, that's
donation.
right.
Yeah,
Yep.
I was going to toss them, and they're like,
Yeah.
Wait a
"You
second.
want those?
We could use those.
Yeah. Like, oh, that's right. You have an actual baby with actual,
actual-
that needs to be caught. Yes.
Actual
Yeah,
poop.
I know, and they were so awesome too because it was like, like, oh, well, these are still in the package, and they're like, whatever, it's for their butt. It's for I forgot if it's a boy or a girl. It's really funny.
Mm.
Like, yeah, there you go, take them all.
He's a really good restorer too. I know for this past year, he actually on his way down to Sneak Fest 2, he bought a game in like New Hampshire and then drove it all the way to Sneak Fest, then drove it all the way back to Rochester. It was a huge ass game too. Yeah, like I think it's some sort of either a tennis or a bowling game. I forget what it was. And him and Dave.
Holy
Wait a minute.
shit.
Is this
Whoa.
is
Wait, cousin Brian?
famous?
Cousin
That's not
Brian,
possible.
is that you?
Fake news.
That's bullshit.
It
Come
has
on.
to be.
All right, so
Cousin
someone got
Brian.
the link.
Cousin Brian.
Hey, cousin Brian. what's
Explain
up?
yourself.
Oh my.
Oh, geez. Oh,
They're all going to
Naked?
laugh at you.
Oh, look at. It's
Ladies
only
and
been 2
gentlemen,
years.
if you haven't tuned in the past 100 episodes, this is cousin
Yeah.
Brian.
He used to be a regular on the show, everybody.
Yeah,
Dave from Buffalo.
until he actually speaks, he will not be seen by any of the audience.
This calls for another drink.
No, because we're doing the
Cousin Brian,
That's just
speak.
Looks like he's
Hey,
there
there
we
we
go.
Oh, no.
Campfire or something.
Goes my headphones.
Donnie will be back next week. Before I don't. Did cousin Brian just get in here? Donnie
Okay.
will be back next week.
Yeah.
And we
Tomorrow.
talked-
Okay.
I told him he wasn't probably gonna because I go, we got Slick Nick on tonight. He goes, no, I don't care. He goes, I'd rather just come on and just hover in the background just to make sure it works.
Well, the funny part is, when you were gone and after Donnie left, we just talked about him a whole lot. So
Yeah, we did.
you tell him to go back and watch the video.
Oh, Dave, what was the name of that game that he brought this past year to Sneak Fest? Remember he had in his truck? Donnie.
Oh God, yeah. Fuck.
It was a tennis or a bowling game, right?
Something. He picked up a game on the way to Fun Spot and like we should bring it out and put it in the cabin because he picked it up like on the way. I forgot what the hell it was.
I got a question for Nick.
It was something
Yeah.
converted to Capcom Bowl.
How did you get 1,000 subscribers so quickly on Instagram? I still have like 50.
I mean, I didn't do anything special, like sponsored or anything. I just went out, started liking people, started posting pictures, a lot of hashtags. People are discovering it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're growing like crazy.
Well, you're
Hashtag
posting on
help.
Facebook, and I think you have a pretty large group that on Facebook too, I would imagine. Right?
Yeah, but it's a lot weaker on Facebook. For some reason, people aren't really involved as much.
Yeah.
Instagram seems to be much more casual, so people just jump right into it.
Yeah.
And it's only been 30 days, so we'll see.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
you're
good
like-
for
you're
30
getting like
days, though.
1,000 or something, right?
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Who's in charge of our advertising? We should.
We don't do any of that stuff.
We don't advertise.
Yeah,
our
actually,
events.
I don't think we
we're,
care about
uh,
subscribers.
cross media.
if you're looking for a free job where we don't pay you a thing or we pay you exactly what we make doing this thing and you are interested
There
in
you go.
taking on our Instagram, we'd be happy to.
Kind of like Nat. We're like not a show.
Not a show.
Nice.
We
I like that.
we
Not a
don't.
show.
Traction though, guys. We have traction lately.
Yeah.
I
I know,
think
but we don't promote ourselves and ultimately, at the end of the day, who wants
Not
to
a
watch this
show.
shit? I mean,
No,
obviously,
right? Like,
My one
I-
friend I used to work with is like he's delivering the mail, and he was like, "Oh, sometimes I'll listen to you when I'm delivering the mail." I'm like,
there you go.
he doesn't have one single game.
I can't remember the last
Hey,
time.
I got a
He has a
question for you
game,
guys.
Paperboy.
Yeah.
all right, Nick,
go for
what's
it.
your question?
I've got a trade that I'm trying to work. I wanted to get your opinion. I think Andrew already weighed in, but I've got a guy that wants to trade his 720, which he just bought off Griffin,
Okay.
for either my Qbert or my Tron. What do you guys think about that?
I'd actually say that's pretty close in value.
I like that trade.
Assume they're both the same condition. You know, if you call them both 8 out of 10 or whatever, or all three of those, I'd say they're pretty close in price and value. I mean, 720 might be. You said Tron and what was the other one?
Either
Qbert.
Tron or Qbert for the 720.
I'd almost say go Tron because I think you can get a Tron easier than you can get a
I do the
Qbert.
Qbert though. Like a Qubert's, not as good as you remember it as a kid. I don't know, but it's.
Well,
I mean, they're all. I would say on the low end, any one of those three, assuming it's very nice, fully working. On the low end, all three of them would be like $2,000. On the high end, all three of them would probably be like $3,000. So they, you know, depending on timing and you know climate.
And which game you like playing better?
well,
Yeah.
that's, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Is,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
ultimately, if you don't like Qbert, then why? Like, who cares if it's the same value or it's a better value?
Tron looks so fucking badass.
It looks
I know.
badass.
that's
But you
exactly what Moss
I'm
said.
and honestly, I think
but
you know,
you
if
I love how that cabinet looks.
Right, but I would
Yeah.
trade my Tron every day of the week for a 720.
Wait, I gotta-
Yeah, so would I. Well, I don't have it anymore.
I have
actually.
both, but like I would still
Yeah,
trade
I
my
have both.
Tron or my 720 is the only of those
I
three
think
games.
personally, I think you know, without if you don't have an issue with that, the J-Rock Qbert, you could build up a Qbert,
Yep.
you know, a nice one again without too much trouble. Where a Tron might be harder.
Yeah.
See, Nick, get the Tron, and you got to get the thing that Andrew and I got. You got to get a
oh,
Tron.
the disc.
Ooh,
Yeah, get the disc.
Right.
Mine's up there somewhere, but yeah.
Meow.
Is your Qbert just a straight up Qbert, or is it having?
All right, Steve, I'm bringing mine to Grinkers. We're gonna fight in the parking lot.
I fight for the users.
That's right.
Oh, I mean, don't be like those guys reenacting, you know, game stuff with all full costumes.
Oh, yeah. What was that thing where the guy was throwing the lightning bolts? Remember that thing? You know what I'm talking about, Andrew?
Yeah. What was that?
Lightning bolt, lightning bolt,
Yeah.
lightning bolt.
It was like a Dungeons and
LARPing,
Dragons
LARPing,
thing
I
or
think
something.
they
It was
called
LARPing.
it.
Yeah, it was Dungeons and Dragons thing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna do a
And he was
Tron.
just like grabbing like little
LARPing.
like sandbags or something like that, and he was like throwing it at the other guy. Lightning.
lightning.
Fucking funny.
So Nick, your Qbert's a straight up Qbert, nothing modified on it or anything.
It's got the swearing marquee and it's got the multi-kit, the Qbert multi-ROMs.
That's makes it
All
worth
that
it.
adds a couple $100 right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Still, I would say, you know, it's depends on if you want one versus the other.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards trading the Qbert for the 720. It's
Yeah.
the one that Griffin had for sale. Same one.
Okay.
720 is awesome. I love 720.
It's such
Yeah.
a fun game. And the thing is like
I don't
it
like
takes
it
a
with those
long
dates.
time to master it. And there's if you watch like the 720 zone videos, like how he
He
plays.
actually did a new
Yeah, we're
release video recently.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, no idea.
I saw it.
So
Oh.
the game is really complex. It has a very defined start and finish, like pole position. So it's like you can't play that game for hours. It's done. But like to work at it and actually get good at it, there's so many fun techniques, and the theme is just amazing. Its
Yeah.
cabinet's totally unique, aside
Yeah,
from
any expensive game.
Firefox and iRobot and Major Havoc. But like that cabinet style works perfectly for the game. The joystick is totally you
Actually,
can't play it any other way.
on my list.
Yeah.
It's not expensive.
We could still hear you.
Carrie and Jim,
Hey,
yeah, you
we're
guys are
talking relevant
save the
information
dirty
here.
talk
We're
for
just
later,
trying to
okay?
keep it censored.
They're doing a show within a show.
We don't need to know what you're doing after the show. Come on
We
now.
were actually talking about
About games.
Oh, about games and about kind of feel because
We were just saying that thank
for-
God we
seven-
don't like some of these games
Yeah,
because
like
they're so
the
expensive.
Yeah,
now.
720, Tron,
yeah.
Hubert. Like I have no interest in any of them.
Right.
Carrie
and
used
so
to
it's
have
like-
a Tron, and she
exactly.
stole it away.
I got it, and then
The rare spray painted skull one too.
The only thing that's made me kind of that's the only game where I've had a slight hint of like, oh shit, should I have not gotten rid of that?
oh, I'm sorry, Carrie.
No. I love my Farscape. The only part about that makes me hesitate is I like Satan's Hollow, and I might have thought twice about it if I knew that the multi would happen.
Yeah, that's what Donnie, he has a Tron with Satan. He was talking about, I'm not a Tron fan, but my Tron has the multi Satan's Hollow, and I love Satan's Hollow.
Yeah. And that's kind
like
of that's a big game changer because I got the and this was a Kalen thing like. Cheers.
Speaking of multi games, Slicknick used to have a multi game too from Griffin. It was the Heavy Barrel / Akari Warriors time
the Rotary.
Flash.
It had 4 games in it, right?
Yeah, did it have 4 games in it, Slicknick?
Yeah, it was Time Soldiers was one of them.
Your favorite.
Akari Warriors, Victory Road.
Victory Road, that's the other one.
Yeah.
Did it have?
It was one hell of a game. It was one hell of a build, but it got old fast.
Yeah, did your wrist like start killing you playing that game too? Man, the rotary games, my wrist just starts killing. Just like,
honestly, we could
Heavy Barrel. Yeah.
If we still did like the question of the week, we could be what game was fun when you were younger, but now you're too old because of carpal
tunnel. Oh God! Actually, I will say that's one of the drawbacks of 720 is every single time I play it, I absolutely break a fucking sweat. Like I get drinkers, like in the climate controlled drinkers, like I'm in there playing 720. It's like, fuck, man, like I'm sweating.
Andrew, it's the same. It's same with Marble Madness for me.
Yeah, that's a very
physical
game.
And Space Zap. Space Zap is another
huge one.
Space Zap. You got the Space Zap Popeye arms. It just
that's why I wear my gloves when I go to
fucking Marble Madness, and I'm like, that wasn't even that good of a game. I'm like,
I know. You're like back sweat. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I remember like posting the picture to Slack a few years ago, which obviously our audience hasn't seen, but it's like I just got done with a game of 720, and like seriously, it's like I had a ring around.
I almost feel embarrassed. I'm like, I hope no one
game.
saw me because this is fucking weird.
Right.
Nick,
someone tell Gleek to be quiet. Isn't that a secret?
What?
Oh, we don't have the irons.
Yeah, with only one monitor, it's kind of hard. Nick,
they've seen the theme, so.
Oh, did you post it on Claw?
Well, we posted the shirt and the designs.
Okay,
so,
good.
Yeah, so that's not a secret.
Okay, so they know.
I was going to say, so Nick, I saw that you've now been enchanted by TaxScan. And so you and I, by the way, are because we share many game affinities in common. So I actually picked up a Space Fury with the goal of because I wanted to be able to in the Converticab, so I could do the Vector Labs thing and get the TaxScan. But that is a game where when I first played it, like I love TaxScan, but I can only play a certain number of games because it's the carpal tunnel thing with all.
Yeah, you got a spinner and everything.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, my wrists! I can play like 3 games in a row, and then I'm like, okay, I'm done.
I hear that all the time.
Yeah, back when Kalen had his arcade, he had it.
Sorry, honey. It's the arcade carpal tunnel. I swear to God. I swear it's just.
I have to drink more.
Yes,
it's my TaxScan elbow.
Yes,
acting up tonight.
In combination with my reactor wrist.
And I've got a little bit of a headache.
Yeah.
It's coming on. I can feel it.
So that was interesting. The TaxScan. I mean,
I keep it on track.
I went to CAX.
Nick, thank you.
Yes.
Thanks for not drinking.
With the TaxScan, I went to CAX, and Chris was having a tournament, which of course I wanted to join, and I had TaxScan in it. I'd never seen the game before, and I'm looking at it. I'm trying to figure out how to play it, and Steve walks up and starts telling me about the game and how you get the extra ships and all that. And I was hooked right away. I said, and Steve looked at me. He knew right away. He said, "You're going to get one of these, huh?" I said, "Yeah."
I remember Steve told us about that same night. That was funny.
So I've wanted one since I played it at Kalen's at 2084.
Yeah, that's where I was showing it to Carrie.
It was the first time I went to 2084, and I was there just a small handful of times. But the first time I went, I'm like, oh damn!
That was one of his newer games. He put it in the back.
So different from everything else because when you turn that spinner, you're immersed because you're in that perspective.
Yeah.
Every time you're moving, It's almost I won't say it's not 3D, but it feels like you're
sometimes you're
first.
traveling behind it. Yeah.
But just in general, like the first, like the original stage, or like the whatever the regular perspective, where the enemies are coming down, but you turn the spinner and it angles. It angles to this way, it angles this way, and it's completely different. There's no other game quite like it. No other shooter that's like it that I've ever come across. And yeah, there is you get to the other stages where you've got that kind of that other that pseudo 3D perspective. But just on the surface, even if you don't even make it past the first level, it's like, well, this is not Galaga.
Right,
This
and
isn't.
it's Vector.
And it's
which
Vector.
is fucking badass.
I just love the jet sounds that it makes.
Oh yeah.
Like, like a jet fighter.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
It's like a hybrid between like Gap Plus, where you have multiple. You can have multiple enemies. You combine that with a vector, and then you add that element where there's almost like this gravity, like this weather, where you're turning to left or right, trying to avoid and shoot these enemies at the same time. And you also have to collect them if you want to add them. Like when you're shooting, you find the ship and you're trying to collect that.
Yeah.
So like there's all these. It's like a hybrid of all these different elements into one game. And I've never played a game like it.
Every so often you can collect a couple ships to bring them back too, which I thought was kind of cool.
It's a good thing we don't have that many people watching this show because we're hyping this fucking game.
Oh,
up.
I feel like I'm dialed in because I've already got my eventually Vector Labs will build, and then I'll have that fucker, so I don't have to worry about it getting all expensive. Sorry, Nick.
Well,
so I've gotten mine now.
Oh, did you? Oh, good for you.
Yeah,
oh,
so the story was there was a guy, and I posted a wanted to buy ad, and everybody kept posting me to the one guy that was selling it. And I asked him, hey, you want to sell it? And he says, yeah, but I've already turned down an offer for $3,500. So I was like, okay, you're not going to be my guy. I'm just going to keep looking. He posted on eBay for $5,000, and it sat there.
I saw that ad.
Yeah. Then he dropped the price to $4,500. Then he dropped the price to $4K. And he started dropping it down further. And then finally he posted in Facebook, here it is for $3K. And I think it was Mike Mann that sent it to me and said,
good old Mike.
Guy wants $3K. And I said, yeah, it's the same guy. So I said, look, I'll give you $2,500 for it. I'll pay you today. No bullshit. If you want to sell it, just let me know. And he thought about it for a couple hours and he sold it to me. So it's on its way.
Congratulations.
I will say this, coincidentally, on the
so
Minnesota
you might get your goddamn game before me. I thought for sure I beat you on one of them.
Hey, but speaking of Kalen's place, 2084, I went there once. Great place. I had a blast while I was there. Sad I had to shut down, but I remember beating Richie Knuckles' score on pole position. I sent that to Kalen.
Nice.
He said it's a Richie, but we never heard back.
Next time Richie's on, we're going to bring that up.
He's better than me, though. I've watched him play. He's definitely better than me.
No, there was a tax scan that popped up on Minnesota.
Was there?
On the Minnesota Facebook, or it was either Craigslist for same thing, $5,000 they wanted.
Oh.
I think it might be the same guy.
Same Sega converted cab, like the whole spiel. I know it hasn't sold because I saw it just like yesterday on there still, but yeah, it's kind of the same situation.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks nice, but it's a fucking ugly Zaxxon.
Oh,
Sega
I know.
cabinet.
It's a fucking hideous cabinet.
Yeah.
Ugly.
And this is Minnesota.
It's a Sega Vector. It's a Sega Vector, right? They go for big money now.
Yes.
They do.
Yeah, except in Minnesota.
Go for a lot of money, right?
Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
The more rare the Vector, the more it's going for, even on top of
Yeah.
that.
And I have to say, like when I was looking at my Space Fury, I was talking to the seller who's an op and, very cool guy. But, I was looking like, oh, yeah, it's in good shape. Much of it's in good shape. And, excited. And I love the look of the marquee and the control panel. But I was talking to him, I'm like, God, this is a fucking ugly cabinet. Like, you can't even look at it and be like, oh, look at this. What, I'm going to spend a whole bunch of money on this really odd. Like, no, it's just ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not a huge. I like texting. I'm not a huge Vector person, but I think
not perfect.
Opposites.
Yeah, opposites.
I like some, but I don't like there's very few vectors that I like, but one that I really like, that I like more than Tax Scan, that I would probably pay a premium for it. Well, you know this, is Boxing Bugs.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's a good one.
that's
That's a game. That's a game
Yeah.
I would spend the money for because it is so unique and fun. And
I'm pretty sure that'll be more than the last one you guys were just talking about.
It's
Hey,
super
Jim.
rare.
Jim, real quick.
Yeah.
Is it Cannon Falls, Minnesota?
that I'm from, or where the post.
Tax Scan?
It could very well be. Yeah.
That's the one that I bought. So he just hasn't taken the ad down.
Yay!
Oh, that's awesome.
Da-da-da. When are you expecting it?
I would actually rather you have that than it still be up for sale because I know it went to a good source then.
Yeah.
It's getting shipped either late this week or early next week, and then I expect another week after that.
So that actually brings up a good
Nice.
point.
That's awesome.
I did my first live stream on Friday for Eyes, and I had the next day I had some dude comment. And this isn't the first time this has happened on my YouTube channel where I've had people ask if they could buy a game, but
Really?
this dude like straight up, yeah, this dude just straight up offered. He's like, "Hey Jim, would you sell your Marble Madness for $3,000?"
No.
And we've had this conversation on our show. So
Not yours. It's too nice. You'd have to do all that work again. You're gonna do it?
What? No, Dave, you have to listen to me talk here for a second.
Finish the story. Finish this game.
So I got this message. It all makes sense now after I told you where this guy's from.
Yeah.
But I got this message the next morning. I had a little too much to drink, so I was like, I slept until like 11. And I look at this, and I'm like, I got YouTube comment. Hey, would you sell your Marble Madness? And I'm like, I've got these before where people have asked. But then he actually had a price. He's like $3,000. And I'm like, Now that's getting into the territory of enough money where I wasn't planning on selling anything, but that gets to a point where it's like, it makes me start thinking.
Yeah.
And so I responded and I said something along the lines of, let me think about it. Are you on Clav? You can PM me here. Like, I didn't want to post my email address right there. But like, how do you get out of YouTube? Because YouTube has restrictions and all that stuff. So I'm like, are you on Clav? Here's my handle. Or Facebook, whatever. Message me. And let's talk about this a little bit and let me think about it. And I rolled it around for a long time, and I'm like, yeah, I would consider it for $3. I love Marble Madness, but I come across them enough in our other arcades that, and I don't play mine as much as I should. Now, part of the reason why I did this whole streaming thing is that it would force me to play my games more. So I was looking forward to that. But, and I'm not a great Marble Madness player. So anyways, I respond and I don't hear anything for a day. I'm like, whatever. Like, part of me was like, this. I posted this on Slack. I'm like, I think this is probably a fluke. Like, this happens every once in a while. But then I took his handle and I Googled it and I found he's on Clav. And I hit his about me. He lives in the UK. So I'm like, oh, so it's going to be one of these. Even if he's serious, I'm going to have to ship this. So I started thinking about all this other stuff. But anyways, it was kind of an eye-opener. But it got me to that point. The gist of the story is that $3,000, like we've talked about this on the show, but it wasn't until then where I had a concrete number where it's like, okay, this is enough to push me over the edge to sell something.
Yeah.
I just wish that game had more levels. Marble Madness.
Yeah, it only has 6. And I've actually like I've said this maybe once or twice, but now where people are like, you're doing the Major Havoc things where people are they're smart with this old technology. Like, I'm waiting for the day where someone can add levels to Marble Madness, make an addition to it, or change something or hack it. Now, granted, I I can't make it to the last level. I've made it to there's 6 levels. I've made it to the 5th numerous times. I'm just not that good at the game, but it would be cool if there were additional levels.
Like a Donkey Kong Jr. remix or like a Marble Madness remix.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was so excited. It was in the tournament. I actually saw the 6th level because it was a guy last year who was that good, and I'd never seen it.
I saw it also at CAX, a dude. But I'm not covering my own ass by any means, because I do, like, I've played several different cabinets and I'm just not that good of a player. But with that said, like, we were at the Emporium the other week and I was playing that, and from game to game, I feel like the sensitivity, there's so many variables when you're talking about a trackball, like how well it spins, but also how well the optics work. There's a lot of variables, and even at Grinkers, I found like I was able to hit things. I was able to shave off a couple seconds on some levels that I can't do on my home machine. And part of that, I think, is just that with trackballs, no matter how well you rebuild them, you can replace the bearings, you can replace the rollers, you can do all this maintenance, you can do all this rebuild. But what it really comes down to is how well broken in the game is. And you only get that in an arcade setting. It doesn't matter how many times, like I've told you, like if I lived closer to CAX, I would bring my Marble Madness out there just to fucking break the game in. Because like if you play mine, both trackballs have been rebuilt. In fact, the right one, I used a little bit, I did an experiment. I used Trifo, a little lubricant. That's my favorite silicone lubricant. On the left one, I soaked them in brake oil, and I just because I read all kinds of different theories, and I soaked that in brake oil. I didn't put anything on there, and I guarantee you the left one is way better. And I use both equally. On some of my videos, especially like on the 3rd, 4th stages, I'm using both trackballs, and I can tell you the right one is quieter, but it doesn't revolve, it doesn't spin as much. Like you can like just rail on it and it'll stop after X amount of revolutions. Left one, noisier. You can crank on that thing and it'll keep going like a Golden Tee trackball. So there's pluses and minuses to that. Now, I can tell instantly when I go into someone else's house or an arcade that how well the trackballs are broken in, whether they're original, whether they're not. And I think people are always attesting the how well the trackball works to the bearings. No one talks about the rollers, and they'll talk about like, okay, you need to swap out the rollers, but they won't talk about that you actually need them to be broken in, the rollers. You need there to be a little bit of a groove in there, because if there's not, you get skipping in the trackball, and you need that you need that little groove and that only comes with play.
You need it to be worn in, right?
Yeah,
the noisier, the better worn in. Because
I found that the same thing was on my Centipede.
Yeah, old rollers with new bearings work really well.
Yeah,
exactly.
But they have to be worn. The rollers have to be worn in, and it's crazy. But like you think about this plastic ball wears in the metal, but it's true. It seats so much better and holds the ball so much better. It plays differently.
I actually, on my Marble Madness, I rebuilt and I swapped out the trackballs twice, because I thought the first time I did it wrong, because I would spin the trackball. First off, I did the wrong thing, and I followed the manual, the Atari manual that says use 3-in-1 oil. No, never do that, because it gums it up. And it's so thick. Yep. And so like I would do this and I would spin the trackball. It would revolve like maybe twice and stop. Yep. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? So that was my first mistake. And then the second one was after I did it the second time, I'd spin the trackball. I bought a brand new, like a Haps one. I'm like $40-$50, whatever they are. They're stupid money. I spun the thing and it's like, it like skips. I'm like, What the fuck's up with that? And then I realized that it's a roller thing. Yep. But as far as the bearings go, people will say you need to lubricate those, whatever. First off, don't do 3-in-1. If you're going to do anything, use a very light silicone-based lubricant and very sparsely, like a Tri-Flow, which is a bicycle shop lubricant. But in my experience, it's better to not use anything at all. So I soak them in brake oil, get rid of the factory stuff that's in there, then throw them in there. Yeah, it might be a little noisier, but you're going to get so many more revolutions on there.
So my noisy trackball is probably better than the one that's not making noise.
Yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, as long as
I can't think
that is how it plays, right? So like with Centipede, like what I noticed with the trackballs is like if you do a perfect horizontal, like full arm spin hard, you'd expect to see the archer go exactly perfectly left to right across the screen, depending on which way you go, right? Yeah. So Centipede is interesting because unlike Marble Madness, where you can't really see it quite as detailed because of the isometric display of it, but Centipede or Millipede, if you do that same thing, you'd expect the archer, again, perfectly horizontally across the screen. And I would see with the not broken in rollers where it would roll to the right and then start dipping.
Yeah.
Either down or it would dip up. And that's because it's just not making, I mean, whatever the connection is, the ball's drifting, I guess is the right word. It's drifting slightly across the rollers in the wrong direction. But once there's like a channel they want to sit in, it just sits down in the groove so much better. And you get perfect screens where it's like you just drift it hard right. And there's no, it just goes perfectly right. And there's no or down.
So Jim, $3,000 was your number?
$3 grand. Tip me.
Let's get down to brass tacks here, Jim.
Yeah, no.
Marble Madness.
I'm thinking because
we were in the car. Me and Carrie
storing it, and I'm like, but on another note, I got my Marble Madness in a trade. Okay, so I love my Marble Madness, and the guy got it from an awesome dude, and the game he was playing, he's in, like one of the Grails. His picture's in that with this Marble Madness. But he got this, and he has another one a year and a half later. Like he goes, I'll be able to get another Marble Madness. So he rebuilt another. My monitor looks good, but he did get another one. But I'm just thinking with $3,000, I'm like, man, you put a lot of time into that. Like you're gonna have to spend like $1,500, $1,700 plus all those hours to make it nice.
So Dave, it wasn't an easy decision. What ended up happening was there was multiple factors that came into play, all at the same time. The first was I had to first think about how much do I play the game? Would I miss it when it's gone? How much would I miss it when it's gone? But the other thing that came into play was that I have a very short wanted list for games. I want a Super Punch Out. I want a Trog. I'm looking for a Big Blue second or third generation. I forget what it is for my Street Fighter Super Turbo. So those are the three big ones. But there's a couple of games right behind it: Galaga 88 and a Big Buck Hunter Safari with the World Kit in it. Because I played in college, late college. Me and my friends, we would go to a bar called Shooters, and every Saturday night we'd play Big Buck Hunter. Now, Big Buck Hunter, everything previous to Big Buck Hunter Pro was a joke. Terrible hardware, terrible graphics, very sluggish. But once Pro came out, they had a whole new hardware platform, and that's when we started playing it. And we played the game religiously, and so I have a very strong college, kind of like the Monopoly pinball stories I've always told. I have a very strong college nostalgia for Big Buck Hunter Pro and on. Oh, I even have a Big Buck Hunter fucking tournament card. I was serious about Big Buck Hunter for a while, but after Big Buck Hunter HD, which is the current version of Big Buck Hunter you see in bars today with the big LCD screen, so once that came out, Safaris Pros and Open Season, which are all on the same hardware, dropped significantly in value. And so I've been looking for a big Buck Hunter Pro Safari or Open Season. And the reason for that is that it doesn't matter which cabinet you get, you can get a kit and it'll play all of them. It's called the Big Buck Hunter World Kit. It'll play Pro, Open Season, Safari because they're all the same hardware. Anyways, so the exact fucking
Zadie.
thing popped up on Craigslist like 2 weeks, like not even 2 weeks, maybe a week ago, and it was someone selling a Safari cabinet with the World Kit in it, which is exactly what I want. They were asking 15. Now I think, and I could probably get them down to at least 12. But anyways, so that popped up, and I was like, I just don't have the space for this because I've already got my last space for my apartment figured out. I want my Street Fighter, my big blue, and I've had plans to take my Data East Desert Assault converted Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cabinet into a Dungeons and Dragons, and that's all the space I have. But then this popped up, and I'm like, fuck. And I look at all of my games, and this is slightly after that post showed up. I thought it was a joke, so I was just like, but what game could I potentially get rid of? And I start going down the line. I'm like, well, I'm never going to sell Miss Pac-Man because that's a crowd pleaser. Arkanoid, no. Toki, no. I get to my Eyes Cat, no. So I'm going down the list, and the only game I could come up with that I don't think, based on how much I play, I would miss was Marvel Madness. Because if I go down the line, I'm like, I play all these games regularly. Cheyenne, there's no way in hell. Maybe Gap Plus, just because Carrie's got one too.
No.
But at the same time, I've been thinking about getting a Galaga 88 board and throwing a switcher in there for that game. And I like Gap Plus. I like having a shooter in the mix. Like, I have limited space, so it's like I want a driver.
Buck Hunter would get more play than Marble Madness from friends, like non-arcade.
Exactly. I mean, like, I would have
got it in your house, and you could probably all right. You turned me. I gotta pee and smoke.
Yeah. So I've kidded to Carrie before that I've almost got the bar thing going because I've got my coin dart board. I've got my Mega Touch. If I get that big buck, that's like completes the ensemble.
And if you're not playing it, I mean, I just thought you were Mr. Marble Man.
The thing is, Jesus.
What's going on there? This is getting
cuddle up. Come on.
It's getting real friendly here. There's a dog in the way.
Right there. That's the issue.
I can't move the dog.
I can't try to move the dog.
But
he can move.
Dave, I love Marvel Madness. The thing that makes me and I'm not eager to sell mine. Like $3,000 is not.
It's okay. You can sell it. I forgive you because I like the buck.
Dave,
here's what I would do.
The thing is that this is what it took $3,000 for me to even consider it, though.
No, but I think that I like because I think you have guests and you like having parties and I think everyone will go bananas.
I love the
Marble Madness.
All my sounds on my phone are Marble Madness. Like a ringtone is the
great soundtrack.
Is the stage 2 theme. Text message, yeah.
You can always get it again. You may just make.
Yeah, no. Here's what I would do, Jim. Is I would tell the guy, I'll sell it to you for $3,000, but with the stipulation that if you ever decide to sell it, you give me first shot at it. That way,
first right of refusal.
Yeah.
He's in the UK.
Oh yeah, we don't have to ship it to the UK.
Well, I think
he's gonna spend like $1,000 to ship it.
I made that deal with my Tron pinball machine, and because he wants it back, he misses it because it was like
my Marvel Madness was my now I don't know how you guys are with restorations, but I'm always trying to improve and one up myself. And Marvel Madness was aside, so up until that point, I think my proudest restoration was my Miss Pac-Man, which isn't even that great of a restoration. Marl Madness. Yeah.
Hey, Jim.
Rough.
I hate to cut you off, but Andrew's got to go.
I do have
Hey,
to bounce
Andrew,
pretty
before
soon.
you go,
Yeah.
I've got just a couple of things I wanted to ask.
Dude, please.
Number one, are you guys considering doing some sort of Nat tournament at Brad's?
We are 100% doing some kind of Nat tournament at Grinkers.
No, he said Brad's.
Oh, at
Brad's new
Brad's.
place.
Well, Brad has to invite us. That invitation has not yet been extended, so
we're hoping by maybe next year we're gonna go.
If Brad says come on up, we're gonna.
Well, you're definitely gonna do one if we do.
I will ask
That's
him
2020.
because he's in contact with me about Mega Touch right now, and so he owes me. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we 100% want to travel up to Brad's arcade because I think all of us here, fans of Brad, fans of the show.
What a great change of scenery too.
Holy crap! Yeah, let's go up to fucking Canada.
I love Vancouver.
No, it looks amazing, and the town is amazing too. So
Yeah, that's cool.
And Brad said he's going to put us up for free. No, I'm just
yeah.
All the nachos we can eat.
In 15 minutes.
I'm holding out for the poutine.
Yeah.
So 100%. So that's not been announced, but like we're at this point just waiting for an invitation.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I'd be up for that. The other thing I wanted to say is I think last week we were talking about the possibility of doing a Nat tournament in LA. So I'd be up for that if you guys are in.
We're all
sometime
super
next year.
excited about the idea. Yeah. So at this point, like events for next year are kind of up in the air. So I think as a group, and obviously you're a part of that too. So
now we're gonna invite
let's have a conversation, figure out like, can we do a Southern
some of the LA
California
people
trip again? And James and Gabby,
Gabriella wants to do it at her house too.
Love
maybe
to go.
Nick and Gabriella's house.
Yeah, we'd love to do.
That's why we're
We'd love to do an
inviting
event down there and hang out at you guys. So
Yeah, it was cool the way we did it in San Diego too, with Griffin and then
Yeah.
Keith's house, and
Yeah, that was awesome.
something like that where we go to multiple locations. And of course, I'd love to
Totally.
host one night.
Yeah,
That'd
dude,
be
that would be amazing.
That would be fun, dude.
That'd be a lot of fun. Gak, are you for that?
Yeah, definitely, absolutely down for that.
He's a punka punka.
Yeah, I've been
Puka puka.
Boonga boonga. Wait, what?
On puka.
working on my
All
store.
right. So the last thing was I just wanted to say thanks to you guys for having me on. It's about
Hey,
bedtime
come
for
back,
me
Nick.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah, come
For
on.
sure.
Anytime,
Dude,
man. Come on
dude,
now.
Nick, I've got you on the regular invite list. So, dude, anytime you want to
Okay.
join in, just fucking join in.
I appreciate it.
And actually,
So-
real quick, actually is doing a quick wrap up Grink Fest. So I want to run through our sponsors. Of course, Nick, who joined us tonight, amazing, is one of our huge sponsors for this event. Let me just quickly run through them. Last week, I ran through all of them and talked about what they gave, but just want to go through and just say them all. So Grinkers Grand Palace, obviously our host, amazing Steve, big one. Crafty Mech, Slick Nick, doing a little partnership this year. It's going to be amazing. Capital City Arcade. We just talked about Orange Whip and his arcade. Get Off Our Lawn podcast, Slackmo Solder House, Arcade Parts and Repair. Pete's been a huge sponsor for the last couple of years.
Peter's great.
Guy.
Yeah.
Yep. 8-Bit Pit Drewster, another big fan of the show. Arcade Crusade, Hula Homer Brewing, and Skeleton Dick. And actually, we've got who's in our chat right now. Skeleton Dick. If you want to talk to Skeleton Dick, go to our chat right fucking now. He's in there.
He's more skeleton dicky than ever.
He's right there. Chris is an amazing dude. I made good friends
Is he
with
going to be
guys.
out to Grinkers?
Yes, 100%, dude. I can't wait to get that guy.
Just scared the dog.
Sorry. Boot to the head.
He had one of the best. Didn't actually make it to the GAC award. Fucking things happened to him when he just did that face plant off the fucking.
Oh yes.
Oh god.
Oh no, I
yeah,
can't get it out of my head.
Chris is one of my fucking heroes, dude. The sound
Like
of
a watermelon.
his face hitting the cement, dude. I knew when I heard that sound that he and I are going to be best friends forever. Such a cool dude. So yeah, Chris, you're an awesome guy.
What was that drinking game we were playing? It was brutal.
dude,
it was brutal. I had to leave. I was gonna
know.
pass out.
That was a rough night.
Yeah, that was a.
They're all rough nights.
Yeah.
No scars. Look at that. He says no scars. He's a pro.
Yeah, pro.
Do not try this at home. Chris, of course, our own very own GAC built, Coin Op Warehouse, Gregatron, amazing dude, Arcade Radio, one of our favorite podcast partners, and DJ's Arcade. You guys are all amazing. Just want to run through it real quick, but Grinkers coming up in
and Geach,
just a little over.
Coin
I'm sorry,
Rejects.
yes, thank you very much, Geach. Yes,
Coin Rejects.
Chris
Good
Dormer.
bunch of guys.
Hey, Geach, thanks for tuning into my live streams, by the way. You're on there every night.
Yeah, he's a rock star.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Geach.
yes, thank you very much for remembering Geach. He was not on my list, so I will make sure to add him to the list. But Geach actually is sponsoring our posters this year. So without Geach, we would not be doing posters. The Slick Nick is going to be
This is
hanging up on
awesome.
his wall one short week after the event. So amazing. Thank you all so much. It would not happen without you and all of our incredible VIP sponsors who donated to the funds. Yeah.
We
couldn't
need
do
somebody to print the event posters too. So if you know anybody, let us know.
Oh shit! If someone's got an extra $20, we could use some event posters. No,
Yeah, only like five or so.
we'll figure it out. But like, yeah, thank you so much to our sponsors and our VIP supporters. You guys make this non-profit event possible. So thank you again, and we'll see you next week.
Yep.
Cool.
All right.
Woo!
Awesome.
3 more weeks.
See you guys.
Until next week.
Good night.
Later.
We can't play music out of here because Jimbo's.
Yeah, he's here.
Sing a
I
song.
need you now tonight.
I fucking need you now.